Well done to Drogheda and Districts. Christopher Keenan as well, very close there in 4th. So Jared, your favourite event of the Morton Games every year, the Swedish mixed medley relay.
Certainly is. Yeah, we'll give you the lineup very, very shortly for that one. They're just getting themselves ready behind the blocks. The ladies will be kicking off that relay with the 100 metres into the 300 metres, then the 200, and then finishes off with the 1 lap in the 400 metres. So our lineups are on that website as well.
And a big welcome to all of our viewers on the European Athletics YouTube. We've been on air for a few minutes just warming up. I'm Cathal Dennehy, I'm with Jared O'Donnell. Jared, you've done your vocal exercises, I believe. I think you're ready for our European audience.
Absolutely, I have my Americano has been swilling around my voice box there to get things ready, and I am all warmed up and ready to go. We've had a couple of junior miles on screen so far to get us ready. We've got a women's high jump already kicked off, a couple of heights in that one. It's up to about 165, 170 at the moment. And up next on track, as you see the schedule there, we're a couple of events down. That 7 p.m. Irish time, IUAA, that's the intervarsity competition here in Ireland. The mixed Swedish medley relay, sponsored by Decathlon. So it'll be 100 metres first, then 300 metres, 200 metres, and then 400. So the females will start and end proceedings, and the men will take up the 2 slots in the middle. So a really interesting one coming up here. We're going to have the University of Limerick, Trinity College Dublin, 2 teams from DCU. So DCU Blue will be in lane 4. We'll have Trinity College in lane 5. In lane 6, Maynooth University, UCD in lane 7. And DCU Yellow right on the outside in lane 8. Apology, lane 5 is TUS, Technological University of the Shannon, rather than Trinity. So as we see at the 200 mark, to start proceedings here with the 100 metres for the women, into 300 for men. Kicking us off there, Laura MacDonald, Enos Dewan, Niamh O'Neill, Elvira Kajus-Kukwa, Molly Hurahan, and Lauren Harrison. And we get away cleanly here first time. So 6 teams underway, and on the outside there, it looks like Molly Hurahan there. UCD is going very, very well in the yellow vest in lane 7. She is powering through at the moment, and she's going to be the first one to hand over here. It'll be close eyes on the changeovers for the judges, and the athletes cut in immediately into lane 1 after that first 100 metres. So 1 bend stagger, and it is Kieran Carthy there of DCU gone strongly into the lead on this 300 metre leg. So DCU in 1 and 3 at the minute, with UCD slotting in second from UL in 4th, and it is TUS in 5th. So out front, Kieran Carthy holding strong here. He'll come all the way back around to that top bend. That'll be kind of a 4x4 type changeover to his DCU teammate. So he gets through cleanly on this one again. The judge is keeping a close eye on things, and it is the 800 metre specialist, I think, out there for DCU, Jack Kelly. It is indeed. So he takes a good 30 metre lead here, and in second leg there looks like maybe Kem Onwera of DCU coming around, and he's going to be passed out by UL, and that is UL's 3rd place runner Alan Miley coming around, the former 400 metre hurdle specialist, now just sticking to the flat. He passes off to his UL teammate of Jenny Sawyer. But out front, Caoimhe Cronin, we have a fall from Trinity. It is in fact Trinity College, faller on that last changeover, so they're going to do battle for 5th and 6th, but Caoimhe Cronin is out front, and she has got a 12 metre lead on UL so far. Jenny Sawyer tracking her, trying to close her down, and Sarah Lane of DCU, just a similar gap from 1st to 2nd to 3rd, 10-15 metres between them all. And Trinity College's Charlotte Burke having a brave run out the back there after that fall and getting the baton effectively in last place. She's pushed them back up to 4th. She's closing that gap, but Caoimhe Cronin out front is widening that gap on Jenny Sawyer. She's got to come into the home straight with 20 metres, and there's a danger of Sawyer losing that 2nd spot to the other DCU athlete, but it is no doubt about the winner. It's going to be DCU Blues. Caoimhe Cronin going to take it home by 40 metres here. We'll keep an eye on the clock. We don't know what the time means. 2:05.88, and really tight on the line, and for some reason Sarah Lane goes really, really wide and loses herself a metre on the line and possibly lost that 2nd place. But it is Jenny Sawyer who had a really good run. She went after Cronin early on in that one, held on well for that 2nd spot. Yeah, and Trinners was certainly not winners there, because they hit the deck on that final, the carnage of the final changeover. Sad to see, but Charlotte Burke got straight up, weaved her way through, and she makes an embarrassed face. She is bleeding quite heavily from both of her knees. She has
bled for the cause here tonight for her team. They came through in fourth, not on the podium, but well done to her for getting up and running on. But yeah, strange move, certainly from Sarah Lane. I have little doubt that Sarah Lane was watching the 2007 World Championships in Helsinki when Rashid Ramsey did that in his semi-final of the 1500 and ran out to lane 8 in celebration. I think she was so confident the second, she said, look how I can do it, but she didn't. She was third.
She was, I can tell you, she's not doing any Ezekiel Kemboy dances down here on track either.
None of them.
No, we just saw a failure there in the high jump. That's a clearance from Ava Rushford. That might have been her first clearance. We'll see the replay here. Caoimhe Cronin there, streets ahead down the home straight for DCU Blue, takes the victory. And behind her, all that drama. I thought Sarah Lane was going to get it, and then for some reason she goes from lane 2 to lane 4 in the last few metres, and Jenny Sawyer says, happy days, I'll take second place, don't worry about that. 2:05.88 on the clock. And here is Una Stanchev in the women's high jump. Again, we'll keep an eye on those live results. She goes well clear that one. I'd imagine that's her opening height. And Summer Leckie also goes clear. That is a live jump, so that one won't be updated just yet on the live results, but a nice clearance for Summer Leckie. She said she was sharing that podium in Cork on Tuesday night in second place. So she has gone over her 170, that is. So Stanchev, Fekete, Rochford have gone over 170. Lara O'Byrne has been eliminated, unfortunately, at 165. And there's the results of that relay. As we saw, that Swedish medley relay sponsored by Decathlon. DCU Blue taking the win by a couple of seconds, 2:05.86, UL 2:09.42, and a couple of hundredths back DCU Yellow in third from Trinity College, Maynooth University and University College Dublin rounding out the field. Great drama there, Cathal.
The Decathlon IUAA mixed Swedish medley relay. To be confused with the Swedish mixed medley relay.
Absolutely. Here is Abigail Farrell just taking an attempt at 170 a few moments ago. She did go clear at 165 on a second attempt, so according to our stats here, that was a PB for her by 5 centimetres, and she has one attempt left at 170. All others in the field gone clear. Bike Skyta hasn't entered the competition yet, and Laura Byrne has been eliminated, unfortunately, at 165.
Yeah, and just looking down the schedule, we've got the men's.
There is our podium finishers for that relay, our 2 DCU teams and University of Limerick.
Yep, well done.
Yeah, Alan Miley and the champion Caoimhe Cronin standing side by side there. They know each other very well. Get a round of applause for UL here at the minute. DCU's yellow team taking the silver medals and envelopes. Always nice to get an envelope.
I love a good envelope.
No medals, in fact, just
especially
envelopes.
The brown ones.
White envelopes here at the Morton Games.
Pass them up to the balcony here if anyone is watching.
Cork has copyright on medals outside of championships.
Yes, I believe so.
Some nice big trophies on that table just to the right of the podium, though, and one of them will be for that Morton Mile later on this evening.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see. But we're looking forward to the men's 100 metres, which will be next up on track. 2 fastest men in Ireland, Israel Olatunde and Boria Kinola, will be taken to the track against some serious international operators. It'll be very interesting to see, can Israel Olatunde get back down towards into the 10-1s? He's been jumping down through the 10-2s in recent weeks, national championships and the other night, as we see Ava Rochford of Nina. This height is going to take me a second to look up.
175, I'd imagine. She's gone clear at 170 already. So she takes to the runway and goes for 179, just rattles it off there with a calf. She has gone over 180 numerous times already in her lifetime. The young Nina athlete, an accomplished pole vaulter as well, but no joy there at 175 for her. She'll be back again. Una Stanchev was just getting herself ready for an attempt at that on the other side of the runway. Look, see Colin Doyle there getting his blocks ready. A brilliant season's best over 200 metres earlier in the week in Cork. In his hometown, 21.08 there for him, so he's getting close to that sub-21 mark that he has hit windy in the past. Una Stanchev coming from the right hand side of the sector, to jump off her left and hopefully clear this 175 as she did a couple of nights ago. The Spaniard, the Nerja vest on.
Yeah, there's lots of athletes returning from the Cork City Sports. Obviously, just a few days ago, great that the two meets can share the expenses and the logistical effort it takes to get all these athletes. As we see her, and she's up and over, no doubt about that, and no surprise, even though she was jumping in Cork the other night, to see her sail clear.
Well clear, yeah. So she'll be certainly pushing up towards that 180s and beyond tonight in that high jump. She does, of course, have a PB of 186, does Stanchev. So our Cork City Sports champion, the Hungarian, Fedra Fekete, 188 this year. Let's see what she can do here. She's already gone clear at 170 as well. And 175, her second effort of the night.
Yeah, so next up, going to be...
That is Fekete clear at 175. So clear card for her so far. Second height and over 175 with ease. To get her kit back on and stay warm as the athletes take their... If there's athletes taking their second attempt. Summer Lucky will be next up on the runway, of course. Silver medal at the World Under-20 Championships a couple of years ago, 190 metres at her best. And what can she do here over 175? And she goes easily clear. Looking in great form there is Summer Lucky.
Yeah.
Bounces off that track and goes easily clear. Just see how much more the athletes are up for it in this kind of weather as well. When it is, no, it wasn't raining in Cork, but it was a lot blusterier and colder.
That meet in Switzerland where Thomas Barr was running, I remember she was doing the high jump that day, and it was a horrendous day, and it was just watching the stream, and you felt for the high jumpers, because whatever about sprinters attempting to, when you have a move as specific as the high jump and you have to pivot on that take-off foot and twist your body, it's such a sickener to try to do that well on a wet track. Very difficult movement.
Trust those spikes. But up next we can see that lineup on screen for that men's 100 metres coming right up race one. We're going to have Bruno Iovoro, Colin Doyle, Caleb Law, Timo Spearing, Paul Costello, Dean Power, Alameen Banco and Adam Murphy. Not sure Caleb Law is actually in this race. On the start, he's on the start. He possibly has been promoted to race 2, which has the faster men on their season's best, certainly, but some real talent of the Irish sprinting scene here, as well as Timo Spearing in the Netherlands. He's a man who's picked up medals at under-20 championships in Europe in the past over 200 metres, so I think he has a silver or a bronze in his back pocket from a couple of years ago. But Bruno Iovoro, Colin Doyle, Dean Power, part of the Irish squads for relays. They were practicing just this week. They will be taken to the track later on this evening as well for that 4x1 versus the Australian team. So we do have Iovoro, Doyle, Spearing, Costello, Dean Power, Alameen Banco and Adam Murphy on the outside, the 200 metre specialist as well. From Tinryland, the yellow and black vest, famous yellow and black vest. They're called to their marks. First of the sprints here at the Morton Games. And we are away first time, so really good start there from Colin Doyle, second from right. Oh, we get a very late recall gun, I think, but men are still going here. We are away and clear, and it is Spearing the Netherlands. 10.63 from Paul Costello and Bruno Iovoro. A brilliant run there. No sign of a wind reading, 0.4 on the clock, so really calm conditions, as I said. So great run from Timo Spearing there. Gets the win in that one. 10.46 is his best this year, so a couple of tenths outside that, but a solid run for him. Had a lot of work to do to catch up with Colin Doyle there as he got out to a rocket of a start, as he usually does, but a good run from the man from the Netherlands. Takes the victory in this first sprint of the evening. It is Paul Costello gets up for second place, so 10.61 corrected to 10.66 for Costello. We got a look at a replay here of that one. To see Spearing there in 5 in the all black, Doyle beside him in lane 4, and Costello got out quite well as well, as did Bruno Iovoro of Newbridge. But we have Spearing coming through there in that all black strip, and he is powering down the track. Paul Costello doing well to stick with him, and Iovoro holds on for third spot. 10.81 for Iovoro, Colin Doyle 10.87, Dean Power 10.88, Bancol 10.93, and Adam Murphy 11.12.
Yeah, if there was a recall gun there, none of the athletes certainly reacted to it, but it did sound like...
More than likely it was some sort of a replay in my headphones rather than anything else.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So let's just not
Maybe
listen
it's
to me.
just the voices in your head, Jared.
Possibly that too. We'll, as always, trust your eyes rather than your ears. That is a failure for Ava Rochford there at 175. So she has knocked that 3 times now. So that will be the end of her high jump competition. A 170 clearance for her, and she will finish up in 5th place. So we have lost Ava Rochford, Laura O'Byrne, and Abigail Farrell, who will be going away with a personal best of 165. But we have 4 athletes left in the field. So Bike Skyta actually came in at 175 there, but a failure once, but then went clear on the second attempt. So her card has been marked negatively, which may affect proceedings towards the end of the competition, as we see Una Stanchev on the runway once again for her next attempt, which I would imagine will be at 180.
And the wind reading in that first section of the men's 100 metres, 0.4 tailwind, so it's pretty good for both the sprinters and the distance runners here this evening. Really, you couldn't ask for much better conditions when you have 8s, 15s, miles, well, 8s, miles and 5Ks coming up this evening. Oh, we have a women's 1500, I think, as well. Do we? Is that a mile? No, it's a 1500.
1500, yeah, for the women.
Yeah. I was so used to the miles at the Morton that I was like, have they gone again? But yes,
we see the fastest man in Ireland there, just leaving the left of your screen. As that is Israel Tunde. Bori Akinola also in there, who just pipped at the national championships 10 days ago at this stage. He is on the left of your screen just now in that Roma t-shirt, and that is Caleb Law on the left, just leaving the screen now. So he was bumped up from that race 2 into race 1, and they will be happy to see the conditions when they walk out on track. The sun is actually coming out now as well, which is a rarity here.
Imagine
that wind basically still, but it's slightly favouring the athletes with a 0.4 behind them, so they'll be saying happy days on that one. We see the result of that first race. Spearing from the Netherlands, that under 20 silver medalist in 200 metres a couple of years ago, takes the win in 10:61. And our big men are out on the sector for the shot put. They're getting their introductions, wave to the crowd and getting their applause as they're duly entitled to. We're going to have 9 athletes in that one. There is our list: Andrew Cooper of Ireland, the only Irish representative in this one. Tadeusz Prochaska of the Czech Republic, Jeff Klein of the USA, Nick Palmer of New Zealand, Jesper Arbinger of Sweden, Victor Peterson of Sweden, also Frank Alemba, and Chukwupuka Enekwichi of Nigeria. So a nice international, truly international field here, Colin, in this men's high jump.
Yeah, Jordan Geister, USA, as well as is a 22:09 metre thrower, so very much the standout. But Chuck Enekwechi, the Nigerian who was born and raised in New York, 21:91 his best. So we could see a clash tonight between the two men who are very close to 22 metres.
This is Una Stanchev on the high jump runway. I think that was probably her 175 or 180 jump. And here is Summer Leckie, just knocks that one. I think that is 180, we'll just confirm that very shortly. 178 in fact it is. So Stanchev clear 178, as is Phaedra Fekete, but first attempt failure for the Irish lady from Donegal, Summer Leckie.
Yeah, lots to look forward to. There you see a lineup for what we'll call the A race, section 2 of the men's 100 metres. The fastest men who are here this evening.
Yeah, Sibasiu Mitsenjwa of Eswatini, Ian Kerr of the Bahamas, Israel Olatunde, Ireland's fastest man in history, 10:17 at his best a couple of years ago in Munich, JT Smith of the USA, and Radishitwe Malenga of South Africa, Earl Simmons of St. Vincent, St. Vincent's fastest man, national record this year, 10:13. We'll have Kobe Hilton of the USA, 10:08, slightly windy in Cork, 2.2, would have been a personal best for him. So can he challenge that stadium record here? Johan Blake, none other than Johan Blake, 10:12. Can Hilton reproduce that 10:08 and wipe Johan Blake off the record books? David Morgan Harrison of GB, Bori Akinola, Ireland's second fastest man this year and for many of the previous years, and Caleb Law, as I said, fantastic 200 metre runner, will be going to the Olympics and part of that USA 4x1 team.
Yeah, Bori Akinola as well. We hyped Israel, justifiably so, but Bori's been in brilliant form as well this year, and he gave Israel Olatunde a heck of a run at the Nationals.
That is Summer Leckie's second attempt failure on 178, so she's closer than her first one. Hopefully now the pressure of final attempt will get her clear of that on the last round. So 178 the bar is at 4 athletes remaining so far. As we see the fastest men in the stadium are setting up their blocks. Ian Kerr, we saw run a wonderful 200 metres in Cork as well a couple of nights ago, and just a slightly windy, what would have been personal best also. On the inside there, that is Metsenjwa of Eswatini just leaving the blocks, and right in the middle, Earl Simmons of St. Vincent and the Grenadine. That 10:13 national record this year. Malenga in lane 5, possibly the man to beat, although in Cork the other day it wasn't the case, but 10:04, possibly just off a plane and not fancying the 12 degrees of the weather, but not too much warmer here today, but the wind certainly playing ball and it's not as cool. So
yeah, just looking around at the flags, and I can rarely remember. Jerry, you train here, so you'll be used to this, and you've surely occasionally seen this, but in my recent visits to Morton games over the years, there's not many nights like this where all of those flags in every part of the stands are just hanging absolutely limp at the moment. The distance runners especially will be loving it.
Yeah, it's a true rarity here, so I think as the evening goes on, hopefully it'll stay as calm. But see Ciara Sheehy getting her introduction to the crowd here from Emerald AC. Anna Gavigan will be up next. Our junior record holder, Anna Gavigan of LSA, Lambay Sports Academy. British University champion is up next, Zara Obama Kinwa. 55.99, as you can see, is her best. This last lap cafe women's discus throw. Barbara Ticha up next, Checha. Gives her wave to the crowd. 5-time Belgian champion Babette van der Put. Next to be introduced to the crowd. She's shy. Gets a shoulder from Niamh Fogarty. 6-time Irish champion Niamh Fogarty. 56.49 at her best, and she set that this year. She is in fantastic form and trains and competes against those women side by side with her very regularly. She's based in Denmark at the moment. But we see Anna-Sophie Hartmann Nielsen up next. 58.30. Seventh in the Commonwealth Games in 2022. Great Britain's Kirsty Law, 60-metre thrower at her best, so certainly one of the best in the field. World University champion from last year, so a real star performer here is up next, the German Antonia Kinzel, 60.92 this year, so in personal best form. Krisiulu Anagostapoulou, 62.40 when she's at her best, so second longest thrower in the field on personal best. And Jade Lally is finally up, 65.10, 37 years of age now, was in the rankings to qualify for the Olympics this year in Paris, but as the British selection policy is, she was not selected like many other of those athletes hoping to represent Great Britain. So unfortunately for her, she was 6 or 7 places inside the road to Paris rankings, but not picked, unfortunately. Herself and her British teammate will be hoping to get on the podium here, two of the longest throwers in the field, as Una Stanchev takes to the runway and she goes clear, and that is 181. She is well clear. I can tell you Summer Leckie from an Irish interest has gone clear at 178 also, so still have our 4 highest jumpers on PBs are in there. That is Bikestaita, Leckie, Fekete and Stanchev all here at 178, and Stanchev also over that 181. See the shot put just kicking off there with Klein, and that one Jeff Klein of the USA, 1965 at his best. Phaedra Fekete anxiously waiting for the officials to give her the nod. And here we have our men's 100 metres race 2. Fastest men in the stadium are ready to rock. Metsenjwa, Kerr, Olatunde, JT Smith, Malenga, Simmons, Kobe Hilton, David Morgan Harrison there in the white English vest, Ori Akinola and Caleb Law on the outside in lane 10. So what can Kobe Hilton do here today? He's got a win under his belt already this week with his fastest time, windy as it be, with 10.08 with a 2.2. You can do it 2.2, you can do it legal. So what can he do here today in Morton Stadium in Santry? A 0.4 wind we saw in round 1, that first race. And the flags are starting to pick up a little bit on the backstrip, but they're going opposite directions, so it doesn't really tell us much, and they're 20 metres above ground level. So we just look at Fekete on her attempt at 181, first attempt. And she just clips that off her ankles, unfortunately. as we get back down for this men's 100 metres race 2. Metsendra, Kerr, Olatunde, Smith, Malenga, Simmons, Hilton, Morgan Harrison and Akinola. Watch out for Bori Akinola, sorry, Calabla in lane 10. Bori Akinola in the yellow on the very far left will be out to a rocket start, but as will all these men. 10 zeros and 10 ones at their best, and we are away cleanly. First time, not too much happening so far, and JT Smith gets out very well. There, USA's JT Smith going very, very well in the middle. Kobe Hill's got a little bit of work to do. He's going to come through on the tip, but it's going to be JT Smith holds on. 10:31 on the clock is a negative wind. It has flipped, so a minus 0.3, and JT Smith did a brilliant run there. 10:21 is his season's best, so not too far away from that. He's a 10:02 man at his best, the man from the USA, so a brilliant win there. He got out very, very well, held on, takes the lead. He's in that full USA strip. He's showing off his allegiance, and he takes that win in style. Kobe Hilton just not quite enough today in this one, as we see the replay there, just obscured by the pole, is Ian Kerr, who took that 200 metres in Cork in the Adidas strip. But right beside Smith there, actually Malenga got out very, very well, just kind of eaten up by the field. Earl Simmons going well there beside Hilton as well, but not enough tonight, and it is JT Smith who takes that win. See that head-on shot here. Stay out very, very well there was Bori Akinola in the yellow, possibly in the lead for the first couple of metres, and in the middle there Earl Simmons, St. Vincent of the Grenadine, going really well in that kind of golden strip, golden brown, but great clearance there. That is from Bike Staita. 181 goes clear. I can tell you Summer Leckie just had her first failure at 181, just very, very close to it, so certainly has it in her legs today for sure, but not on her first attempt, and that is Fekete on the runway for her second attempt. Brilliant 100 metre race there, and all action on the field. We've got Frank Alembe in the shotput circle here. You can see those tape markers will give us a bit of a guidance on where this putt will go to for Frank Alembe, his first round effort. He's the third man to throw in the competition. Launches that one out, and it is shy of that 19 metre mark, so around the 18s. And as I said, you can keep an eye on the results online as we see Fekete. Second attempt goes clear, 181. Cool as you like, but marked her card with an X on that first attempt effort. So if you go onto the Morton Games website, you'll see the live results link on the top of that, or live.athleticsIreland.ie/Morton/menu. You'll get straight there automatically. So 3 athletes clear of 181. Summer Leckie due to take her second attempt. She walks across to the left hand side of that sector.
So Kobe Hilton 1:10.30.
You just see there, oh, it was Kobe Hilton, in fact, did get up for the win on that one. It is split by a thousandth of a second. We just see our infield announcer letting us know. The clock has popped up on the infield with 10:30 for both Hilton and JT Smith. So, as they always say, the faster finisher usually gets the nod, or the man closest to the camera gets the nod from the photo finish. But it certainly looked like Smith had held on, but not this time. Earl Simmons, 10:36 for third. And we're going to pan down to the infield for...
The whole place smells of burgers, Ger, and I can see why, because the burger van has very much started up.
We have Kobe down on the infield chatting to Will Dalton.
Sorry, you just shaded that on the line. That was a very tight one, 10.30.
Yeah, I got out awful, but I just tried to keep in it and just barely snuck it out. So I'm happy with it. More to fix, more to work on the next one. Yeah.
I heard you came here today with a mind of maybe looking at the stadium record. Not quite want to be, but consistent running all the same.
Yeah, I wanted it, but I just would have gotten out just a little bit better. I would have had it. So next year, it's mine. It's mine next year.
You're coming back. Conditions were good tonight. Perfect for sprinting for Ireland as well.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love this island. Been here probably for about 3 weeks now, staying with my boy Kevin Cogley down in Wexford. So yeah, so it almost just feels like home. Love it out here.
And Kobe, I have to ask you, what's the plan then for the rest of the summer?
I could have a race in a couple weeks, or I could just train through and pick back up after Paris and then do a couple more meets. I'm not sure like which meets, but I'm not done yet for sure.
Good stuff. Well, congratulations on your victory. We look forward to seeing you again soon.
Second from the Morton, most recently on Tuesday.
Yeah, great to hear from the champion there, Kobe Hilton. As he said, he's been based down in Wexford with Kevin Cogley for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Said his boy, quite an old boy, Kevin Cogley. He's a man who's represented there in the 4x1 relays in the past himself. Part of that national record team, but being looked after by Irish eyes, and he's the champion here. He said he's going to come back, so that's good news for us. He'll be back next year to try and get that stadium record. But we have the man who we just pipped on the line is back down at Wales. We'll hear from him next.
It's Wally Scott.
JT, congratulations. You said to me across that line, you thought you had it. Second place by the slimmest of margins.
Sucks to not come out with the win, but it's good to come out healthy, and I can keep competing for the rest of the season, so I'm looking forward to that.
You talked to me, you said you had one hell of a journey to get here from Miami, 26 hours. You finally found your legs tonight. Talk us through the race. How did you feel? Did you get out well?
Yeah, the 26 hours of travel was not very ideal, but hey, it is what it is. Just wanted to come out here and compete the best as I could. Got out okay, and just tried to hold on to the end of the race, and the results are what they are.
Not quite Miami weather, but not bad for an Irish summer's evening. Conditions were pretty perfect for sprinting, weren't they? No wind hardly.
Oh yeah, I'm grateful for the no win. Last week we had too much, but it's good to come out here and have some good weather. And yeah.
Listen, it's always great to see that USA vest. Lots of athletes from obviously coming over for Paris Games. What's the plans for you over the next few weeks?
I think I'm gonna go to a camp in Budapest. I mean, not Budapest, in Birmingham with my coach and a couple of my training partners, and we'll just go from there.
We hope to see you back in Ireland real soon. Thanks, JT.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, JT Smith there, thinking he got the win. I thought he got the win as well, but has to settle for second by the slimmest of margins this evening. But hopefully we'll see him back here again next year, and we see the result of that race. 10:30 for both men in first and second. It was a minus 0.3 wind, so negligible headwind. And now one Earl Simmons of St. Vincent, 10:36 for third, and Malenga 10:38. Best of the Irish, Israel Tunde 10:49. Just gets ahead of his great rival Buriak Enola again by thousandths of a second. Also from Metsenjua of Eswatini, same time there, 10:49. So really tight one there. And the women's 100 metre hurdles is up next. They are behind their blocks. Our full lineup in this one of Teresa Elena Sinova. We've got Molly Scott, Milika Amini, Ebony Morrison, Sarah Lavin, Tally Bonds, Meta Gravisgard, Imogen Breslin, Tara Meyer, and Arabella Adegoya. So some fantastic international athletes in this one, and filled lanes by the best of the Irish, who have given Sarah Lavin great competition down through the years. Medalists from the national championships like Molly Scott going in lane 2, and she will certainly be out well. But in Cork 2 nights ago, Sarah Lavin was the champ. Can she hold off her two compatriots here again in Morrison and Bonds? And it's going to be a very tight one again. And it is Lavin away quite well. Bonds going very well, the tall lady in the red shorts. But now it is Morrison and Lavin pulling away. Gravisgard having a great one here, but can Sarah Lavin hold on? She's going to win it by a metre from Ebony Morrison. 12:84 on the clock, and a huge roar in the stadium from the Irish crowd. They give her a round of applause. It is a headwind again, 0.7 into the face of those athletes, but another solid run from Sarah Lavin. Takes down some really fast athletes, as we said again. As she said in an interview a couple of days ago, the girls either side of her are 12.6 athletes, 12.7 athletes. Sarah the best, 12.62. So she's certainly in good company, and she's putting these athletes to the sword now, day in, day out. A fantastic performance from the Irish hero there, Ebony Morrison, 12.92 in second, and Bonds roles reversed from Cork a couple of days ago. She takes the bronze this time, or the third place in 13.05, and Gravisgard 13.11. I think that's going to be another season's best for her in fourth place.
Yeah, great to get a look at Sarah Lavin. She really got the start, but then hurdles 1 and 2 she just lost that little half step. But as you can see there, the class told in the end. So consistent, so crisp, not a flaw in there. And she came through once again, as it was 3 days earlier in Cork. Sarah Lavin with another 12.8 into a slight headwind, and heading to Paris in flying form.
Head-on shot here. We'll see who rises first. So Tally Bonds there and Gravisgard in lane 6 and 7 were out very well. They seem to be in the lead over his first couple of hurdles. And just see Bonds there in the red and white. Just had a bit of a wobble there on hurdle 6 or 7, and it looked like Gravisgard was going to go clear of her, but she comes back really strongly. But Lavin, once she got into that lead, she was not going to let it go. A really clean race, I suppose, this week, especially heading off towards training camp in Fontainebleau, just outside Paris, this day week. Sarah Lavin would just wanted to get a real solid, clean week of running in. We see Kobe Hilton getting his blank check on the stadium, on the infield, with Paul Archibald there of Leinster Athletics giving him that one.
He can write whatever he wants on that, sure.
Absolutely. We just see Fedra Fekete again in the high jump, and that is a
Not
failure
quite.
again. So that was a first attempt at 184 for Fekete, so she has gone clear at 181 the second attempt. Summer Leckie has been eliminated at 181, so 178 her best this evening, but just back on 11. That's really solid, smooth running on those two races this week. They would have been in the middle of a heavy block of training, as she said, in Cork, and it's just really, really good work into the legs ahead of that camp, building up towards the peak of the year, those Summer Olympics. And we just see Urte Bikestaita going easily clear at 184, so nice.
And the biggest cheer tonight for Sarah Lavin. I was talking to her out at the Sport Ireland Institute about a week ago, and she was saying obviously Sarah would have her choice of international meets, but this is essentially a long training block for her right now. But she found at previous championships, she said, that little block without racing heading into the big championships kind of counted against her, and that she felt very ring rusty when she walked out. So she's actually been searching for races during this. She's very much not easing down, training through all these races, and she said she's picked out a race in Luxembourg, one of the very few remaining races on the circuit. I think it's the 20-something of July, and she said, you know what, I think I'll do that as well, from the holding camp up to there and then back into training for the big one in Paris.
Yeah, Sarah Lavin there, confirmed winner, 12.82, 10th of a second clear of Ebony Morrison. Tally Bonds back in third, 13.05, and Gravisgard 13.11. Sinova 13.45, Amini 13.55. Scott, the best of the Irish, second best of the Irish, rather, 13.79, as she was at the national championships here 10 days ago or 2 weeks ago. And Imogen Breslin, the Australian, 13.90. So that women's high jump is really getting to the pointy end of things, as we could see on the results system. By Skytech gone over 184, as is Una Stanchev. And we are down on the infield with our hurdles champion, Sarah Lavin.
Okay. Sarah Lavin, congratulations, another home win.
Yeah, it was nice. Again, another great crowd, and just to be able to compete at home, great.
Talk us through the race, start technique, happy with things, or still a bit of work to do?
No, I mean, like I think you're never going to have the perfect race exact same time, but I think there was a plus 1.8 and a minus 0.7 there, so that's like 0.2 something of a difference in quality of run, but I think I got out a lot better because they're fast girls. Like Tally has a 66 this season and a 68, and Ebony is going to Paris and she's the African champion, so it wasn't like they didn't make it easy for me.
Listen, it was great to see good conditions to start with, a little bit of sunshine, and also great to see a really, as you said, a really stacked field. Good competition here in Ireland.
I know, when they were calling at the start, I was like, yeah, honestly guys, you really weren't setting this up to be a nice easy send off, so yeah, it was lovely to get the win, 2 wins this week, and one more to race in Luxembourg on the 21st, and then straight into camp.
Okay, well, it's really starting to feel real. I'm sure you picked up your gear and everything this week from Team Ireland. How is the head, I suppose, going towards it? It's almost like, are you just kind of, you want to get going?
Honestly, I'm training hard at the moment, so I think I'm just taking every day as it comes, using these opportunities to perfect things under pressure, and I have a gym session after this, I think, so
do you ever stop?
It's just the fact that we're 26 days out now, and every single one of them counts, so I'm just enjoying it, happy, but ultimately changing nothing that I'd have done every single year before a champs.
Right, so well, look, congratulations again. I won't keep you from the gym. We can't wait to see you in Paris. Good luck. Happy? Right, come on. I'll try and cover the race.
Great to hear from Sarah Lavin as always there. She said in that heavy block of training, and the wind flipped from Cork a couple of days ago, same time on the clock, but about 2 meters of difference in the wind. So
and way to make us feel lazy, just running a 12.8 into a headwind and then saying, oh yeah, by the way, I'm going to do a gym session now.
Absolutely, in and pump the guns any chance. So see that men's shot put there. Peterson is in the sector. I'll try and bring you some current results in that one as well. So that is round 4 in that. Women's high jump is still ongoing here as well. We've got the Lithuanian and Spaniard are clear of 184 in that one, and Fekete has her third attempt at 184 coming right up. That men's shot put is well underway. We see a foul there for Peterson in that one. Archie Pearson. He's 21.15 at his best, so try and get a throw on the board in the next round. Currently Nick Palmer is out to 17.98, Jeff Klein 17.85, Chaska of Czech Republic, or Czechia rather, 17.95. So those three men out over the 17 metre mark. We see Frank Alemba is in the sector now up next. And we just lose the end of that throw just around the 19 metre mark, and we just see the end of Phaedra Feketa's high jump. So champion from Cork City Sports a couple of days ago goes out at 184 on this one. End of her competition, but she will finish in third place. Una Stanchev and Bike Staita will go on towards 187.
And up it goes, getting to the serious heights at this point. Next up on track will be the men's 400 metres. They're still standing behind their blocks, but you won't miss a second of that. We'll get over there and see the Dubliner, the home hero, Jack Raftery, soon to be Olympian, selected for the mixed relay. National champion, clutch performance to make that team under big pressure. So we'll see what he can do against the likes of Britain's Adolf Hayloft, Wilson and lots of others.
There's Una Stanchev just running over towards her mark in that high jump, but as you see, introductions to those 400 metre athletes, and it's going to be a really interesting one here this evening. Jack Raftery just getting introduced to the crowd there, the big man, the Denor Harrier singlet. He's seen a couple of his clubmates in that high jump earlier today. Like Prévost goes on the outside there in lane 7. He's a man who's picked up relay medals at World and European Championships with France, including in Budapest and in Munich. Silver in Budapest. I think that was their first medal on the last day in Budapest. It was a fantastic performance. He ran the heats for that one. And Sam Reardon goes on the outside, 46.24, his best this year, just outside his personal best. So Alex Haydock Wilson, 45.08 PB, picked up a silver or bronze medal rather 2 years ago in Munich at that European Championships. What can he do here today? He will be going to Paris as part of that relay team for Great Britain. And our full lineup: Martin Halen of Belgium goes on the inside line. He's been here before, he'll be familiar with the track. Joe Doody, big breakthrough this year into the 46s, 46.85 in Brussels. Killian Green ran on that world relay team to qualify the team for Paris, picked up a silver medal there in the Bahamas. Haydock Wilson goes in lane 4, outside him Adrian Koulibaly of France, 46.12 at his best. The Irish champion goes in lane 6, Jack Raftery, Luc Prévost of France, in 7, and on the outside Sam Reardon of Great Britain. And we are cleanly away. Looks like a good start there from Koulibaly in the grey vest of France. Jack Raftery with a bit of work to do. Outside him Prévost is going out very strongly as well. Doody and Green going well, but onto the back straight Haydock Wilson is probably showing the strongest, as is Luc Prévost. Jack Raftery trying to stay with these men. There's a couple of lanes separating both of them, so stagger kind of interesting to unwind, but Prévost out there, the tall man from France, going very well. Haydock Wilson probably up into the lead now as we come towards the 250 mark. He's going to close down on Prévost and try and get into the home straight in the lead. On the outside there Sam Reardon is having a good run. He's coming back, he's closing that gap, and Killian Green coming into the 300 metre mark in a very good position, but Haydock Wilson has about 3-4 metres on Reardon, it looks like, at the minute from Prévost. Jack Raftery battling hard, and Killian Green going very well there in lane 3. We'll keep an eye on the clock. It is Sam Reardon going to come up for second, 45.56 from Sam Reardon. I think Jack Raftery got up there for third from just away from his compatriot Killian Green. His training partner Luc Prévost are very strong. First 2-300 of that one, but faded towards the home straight. But no doubt about the winner, Haydock Wilson just got himself to 150 safely and then started winding up, turning up the gears, and got himself around that bend well clear. He is the champion. You see him on screen, 45.54. Sam Reardon with a PB there in second place, 45.99, sneaks in under that 46 second barrier, and Jack Raftery 46.44 for third place. Luc Prévost did hold on in fact for fourth, 46.56. The Frenchman on the outside in lane 7 from Killian Green, 46.62 in fifth. Koulibaly tight lane 1, 46.91 on the clock for him, and Joe Doody 47.30 in 7th. Martin Halen 47.86 rounding out that one. So Haydock Wilson takes that title, that men's 400 metres Loki Sportsmen 400. So we've got the high jumper again, Una Stanchev on the runway. I think we're at 187 in this one now. Just get a quick look, confirm our results on that one. Stanchev just takes that one off, barely grazes the bar, but in the wrong way, knocks it off the uprights. So that is her first fit. It's 186. In fact, the bar is at, and that one we just see the discus underway there for the women as well on the infield. So it is Stanchev versus Bike-Staita in that high jump. That was the second attempt for Stanchev, in fact, failure at 186. So Bike-Staita go for her second attempt very, very shortly. And we see the crowds filling up the stadium here in Morton Stadium. So we just see Anna Gavigan there of LSA. The Irish athlete launches that discus out towards the 45 metre mark. That's her first one on the board for her. We've got 11 athletes in that one. We've got 4 60 plus metre throwers, as well as the multiple time Irish champion Niamh Fogarty. We're going to look at the men's 400 metres results sponsored by Loki Sports. Alex Haydock-Wilson 45.54 for the win there. PB for Sam Reardon in second at 45.99. Jack Raftery best of the Irish with 46.44, and Loic Prévost 46.56 from Kinnean Green. 46.62 Koulibaly, Doody and Halen 6th, 7th and 8th. Here is Urta Bike-Staita, and she goes clear. A lovely clearance, gives it a little wobble, but 186 is in the bag for her. To say 192 at her best this year, back in January that was, so she'll be hoping to get over those 190s once again here this evening. The conditions are quite good, slightly breezy now, and it was a little bit more than it was earlier as Haydock-Wilson takes the adoration of the crowd. As you see, he's a 45.0 man at his best. He's a European medalist at his best in the individual 400 metres, bronze 2 years ago. And he gets the flowers and gets the check from Loki Sports. John Shields, of course, coach to Brian Gregan, 45.26 numerous times at his best. So John certainly knows a thing or two about the one lap distance and many other events. In fact, a former field events coach back in the day as well. There's no doubting the winner there, Alex Haydock-Wilson, by a half a second. So he'll be tuning up nicely now for Paris, part of those relay squads over there for the mixed relay and for the men's 4x4 relay for Paris. Women's 800 metres is going to be up next on the track. Our full start list on the screen. Our first page up is certainly Sinead Swart of South Africa, Kendra Coleman of the USA, Hannah Seagrave of Great Britain, Keegan McKenna of USA, Louise Shanahan, the many-time Irish champion, not quite this year, the Olympian from Tokyo 2021. Ali Wilson is going to the Olympics of the USA. Kind of a surprise results out there. Cathal will tell us more about them very shortly, but she is on her way to Paris, and she is here now. Eugenie Morel. After that, Eugenie Morel of France. Melon Knifors, Kimberly Finnicek of Czechia, Abigail Ives of Great Britain, Ireland's Jenna Brommel, and Kate O'Connell pacemaking this one. We'll be looking at going through in sub 60 seconds here for sure, maybe 57 or 58 seconds for Kate O'Connor. We see Una Stanchev on the runway once again. Oh, and a really, really close clears, or failure there rather, from Una Stanchev at 186. So 188 at her best. Rather, 186 is her PB, so that would have been an equal PB there, but would have been a fantastic jump. And she certainly has the height there, just not quite on that attempt. So that women's 800 metres next up on track. And we have down on track Alex Haydock-Wilson talking to Will Dalton.
Congratulations, 45.56. That was a strong performance.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it feels good to be out here performing in front of an Irish crowd. My grandma's Irish, so it feels good to be sort of like another home, and yeah, good time as well.
Talk us through that race. You had, I think, Jack just outside you, and you caught up on him quite quickly. Was that the aim, to go out strong and see how you were going to go?
Yeah, exactly. I was going to run my own race regardless. I know Jack's quite a strong runner. I really just wanted to have tunnel vision and distribute it the way I wanted to distribute it for where I'm at in the season. I think Jack ran well. All the boys ran quite bravely, so yeah.
And obviously with an Irish granny, you know, this is not, well, it should be usual Irish weather for July, but it was a good night, good conditions, no wind, and a nice track and a nice crowd as well.
100%. I had a good feeling before coming out. I had a good feeling that everything was just going to come together for this race, and it was right. So I'll keep following my gut.
Good stuff. And finally, as well, just before the next race kicks in, how are you looking ahead to Paris?
I'm really letting God take control of the reins. So I'm just running present, enjoying it, being hopeful, and I think some crazy things are going to happen in Paris. I really believe that.
Best of luck with that, okay? Cheers, buddy. We'll see you in Paris.
Some crazy things will happen in Paris, and some crazy things could happen here at the Morton Games, because this is the women's 800 metres, and the big favourite here will be Ali Wilson in the centre of your shot there in that purple Nike strip towards the left. She finished second at the US trials over 800 metres in that famous race that went viral because of the fall of Athing Mo. The Olympic champion won't be in Paris, but Ali Wilson will, and it's been a brilliant year so far for the 28-year-old American who left the Atlanta Track Club, followed her coaches up to Indianapolis. She slots into second behind the pacemakers. She will be the big favourite here, but there's many other big contenders in here, and if there's any jet lag in those legs of Ali Wilson, it will be shown up, because look at Sharnay Swart on the inside there from South Africa. Just behind her then is McKenna Keegan. McKenna Keegan, the American, took a brilliant win at the Cork City Sports the other night. She has been below 2 minutes this year. Ali Wilson is a 1:58 athlete at her best, but can she repel this field? She is in perfect position now. On the shoulder of Swart is Wilson, but the South African leads. We had a South African men's winner in Edmund Duplessis in the men's race in Cork the other night. Can they make it a double here on Irish soil? It is Sharnay Swart leading down the back straight. Ali Wilson, though, is poised to strike just a few weeks ahead of the Paris Olympics. This would be a great confidence booster to beat this field. Ali Wilson is ready to strike, but Swart is not making this easy at all. Back in third, it's McKenna Keegan. She had a big finish in Cork the other night. What can she produce in the last 100 metres? But now the class perhaps rises to the top, and it is Ali Wilson out into lane 2. She's got company though. McKenna Keegan, her fellow American. This is going to be a fight right to the line, and Wilson doesn't have it. Woo, Shanahan coming through well. Back in third, but it is McKenna Keegan on the double. Cork City Sports earlier this week. Morton Games on a Friday night. The American with a double win. What a run, under 2 minutes.
Yeah, 1:59.84 on the clock there. Brilliant run. Always special to see a sub 2 minute clock again. McKenna Keegan just into the home straight and showed her class. She dominated that last 100 metres. Wilson thought maybe she had it wrapped up and she went into the lead into lane 2, but out into lane 3 came McKenna Keegan and said, no, I'm winning this week. Already had one win in the belt, and here we go again. Just see a replay of that.
Yeah,
as Wilson just moves herself into the lead, and Keegan just kind of goes around, possibly unannounced. But once she got by, she opened up that gap. 50 metres to go. You see the grimace on her face, and she opened up a couple of metres in a space of nothing, and a dominating victory in the end, and a sub 2 clocking on the clock.
What a run. She played it perfectly, and really Ali Wilson couldn't do anything differently there. I mean, she had a dream run toe into that race, Ali Wilson, and then came through. She went for it with 100 to go, which is where you want to be, hitting the front right off that bend, slingshotting into the lead. But then slingshotting right out of her slipstream and past her, McKenna Keegan, the strongest. Brilliant run by the 25-year-old American, member of the Melbourne Track Club. She was only a semi-finalist, I say only, at the US Olympic trials, but it's very, very hard to get into that final. As we see a replay of that photo finish from the men's 100 metres. Ger, you separate them there.
As I said, it's always the man closest to the camera usually gets the nod, so to speak, and the fast finisher, Kobe Hilton, just closest to the camera there in that all black strip, getting the benefit of the doubt. Of course, you can't see the shoulder of JT Smith. That's his to his detriment. So separated by the thousands by our officials. I'm sure Andrew Lynham spent a long time on that one. We just see the very, very close finish. But Kobe Hilton takes his second victory of the winter. We are going to pass down to the infield to Will Dalton.
Jack Rafferty, third place. It's been an emotional roller coaster, you've just told me, this week, but third place out here. Happy overall?
Yeah, it's been a lot of kind of waiting around for the public announcement for the Olympics. It was a great day yesterday, and yeah, look, I'm happy with that. It's a bit of a leap to come up and try get to go again. yesterday was a big toe in the body in a good way. So happy that undercooked, but felt fine coming home. I have more left on the legs, which is a good sign. So ready to go fly next week.
Good stuff. Well, Alex took the race there. He was behind you. Did you feel him come up on you straight away? It was a quick start from him.
Yeah, he does tend to start quite fast, and I knew he'd be like that inside me. So no, not really stressed when he went by me. You're kind of used to who starts fast and who doesn't. It's as much as winning your own race as it is theirs, so happy out.
Nice conditions here for Morton. Also, not as big as the Nationals, but a really good crowd here tonight as well.
So I've been coming to Morton since I came in 2014 as with the Norman John Travels ran 55 mile, and it is one of the biggest crowds I've ever seen. So I love running here. I've been coming here since a kid. I did the juvenile relays that were on this morning when I was 13, 14, and the weather's perfect, no wind whatsoever, absolutely buzzing.
Final question, ready for the Olympics?
I'm ready. 2.5 weeks of prep and we're good to go.
Stuff, Jack, we can't wait. We'll see you then.
Thank you.
Yeah, great to hear from the Irish national champion over 40 metres, Jack Raftery. Will be heading to Paris very soon with that mixed relay team. As he said, left himself a lot of work to do in that first 100 metres, as he does often, a little bit too often, but didn't do that a couple of weeks ago here at the National Championships, but in a big block of training again to get himself ready for those Paris Olympics. We see Urte Bikstite just with a knock in that high jump. I think that's 188 the bar is at, but Raftery, as he said, an emotional day yesterday when the team was officially announced. A long wait for those athletes who were told by email or formally, informally, possibly a week ago, but they had to keep quiet for a week or so before the world could know what the team was going to be. But he is on the plane, and this is perfect prep for that. You see the men are getting ready to take to the track. And back down the infield we have the winner of that women's 800 metres, McKenna Keegan, talking to Will.
McKenna Keegan, a double this week. First in Cork, first here, and another race, 800 metres, under 2 minutes. Congratulations, how are you feeling?
Good, yeah, feels good. I mean, these meets have been great to come to, and yeah, always really fun to win a few races, and especially today, dip under that 2 minute mark. So yeah, it was a lot of fun, a really good field of competitors, so it's good to just get some really hard, good efforts in over here.
That must be surely building the confidence coming in off the back of the win in Cork, coming here tonight. Had you a race plan? Was you just going to see how it goes, or were you feeling really this could be a double for me?
I mean, I think you have to come into every race with a lot of confidence and going into it thinking I can win this. So I just wanted to put myself in the front and not lose contact with if anybody was in front of me, and then just try and kick home that last 100 and find another gear. So I'm really happy I was able to do that today.
Good crowd, good conditions as well, always help.
Yes, I mean, it's a beautiful night here. You couldn't ask for much more. So, and the crowds here in Cork and in Dublin have been amazing and so loud and a lot of energy, so that always helps.
Right, Steph, and then quickly, what's the plan for you for the rest of the season?
Yeah, so I'm racing another one in a couple days over in Italy, and then gonna train and hopefully do some more later on in the season.
Good stuff. Well, we can't wait to see you back in Ireland again. Thanks, McKenna. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
And we see Urte Bikstite going in the high jump once again, her final attempt at 188, and it is not to be. So she is the champion here in the high go women's high jump at 186, the only athlete to go clear at that. Ina Stanchev did take one attempt at 88 as well for a PB, went out. She will take the second spot. And the men's 800 metres are up next on track. We see Tiernan Corkin and Finney McClear of Great Britain, Mark Milner of Ireland, Guy Learmonth of Great Britain, European indoor medalist I think in the past is Learmonth, Nathan Green of the USA, Edmond Duplessis, we saw him with a wonderful win in Cork earlier this week. Dara Donoghue of Ireland having a breakthrough season, down from the 152s to 148 this year. IRL van de Put of Belgium, and a couple of more men on page 2. Sam Ellis of the USA, Bram Boegel of the Netherlands, and it'll be paced in this one by Hugo McGee, 47-second 400 metre man at his best this year, breaking through into PB territory every week. Another fantastic field here in this men's 800. Can they match the women? We saw 145 from Duplessis, the South African, earlier this week in Cork. Can he do it again and take the win? So as we said, it's real international class fields here in this one. Two Irish men in fact. Mark Milner with 147.2 at his best, and good Irish Dara Donoghue 148.9. breakthrough for him this year. Can he go quicker? But Edmund Duplessis will be the man to beat. He's got a target on his back after that performance earlier the week. Learmonth 145.4 this year so far. Duplessis 144.4. You know, IRL Van de Putte, the Belgian, 147 this year, but 145 at his best. He'll be looking to get back down towards those 145s.
Yeah, I am intrigued to see this clash. I mean, there's a lot of talent in this field, but Edmund Duplessis, we saw from South Africa, you know, that win at the Cork City Sports was magic the other night. His last 100 was so strong, but there's another winner at the Cork City Sports, and he's in the centre of your shot in that grey and, well, what would you call it, dark charcoal grey as well, Adidas kit. Lane 4, that is Nathan Green, the 2023 NCAA 1500 metre champion, 3:53 win in the mile in Cork the other night, and it was just so impressive. He's not an 800 metre specialist. His personal best is 146.50 running the oversized track in Seattle. He's a University of Washington student, now turned pro. He's a Husky. That's what they're called, by the way, for anyone not familiar with the NCAA. But Nathan Green, 21 years old, big talent. Look out for him in lane 4. Likely to smash his personal best, but can he continue his winning ways on Irish soil? But Edmund Duplessis, the South African 22-year-old, is going to be absolutely no slouch and a very tough nut to crack in the lane outside him. 144.49 Duplessis ran in Madrid. That's his personal best, but 145.4 the other night. He's the 2-time South African champion last year and this year. And he's a medical student. Top of it all, he's qualified also for the Paris Olympics. Guy Learmonth, of course, Jared teed him up there, but he's in the orange in lane 3. You won't miss him. 6th at the World Indoors in 2022. A 6-time national champion counting indoors and outdoors. And he's been a very outspoken man off the track as well about his own governing body. But the pacer is doing a good job stringing this along, and it looks like Duplessis perhaps settling into second there. It is indeed in that Adidas kit. Duplessis is settling into second, and then just looking back in that green strip, that is Dara Donoghue of Ireland. Might have had a little rejig there, but anyway, it is certainly Duplessis, the de facto leader in behind the pacemaker, has command at the moment, and it is a fast pace, as you can see there on the clock. It's sub 39 seconds at 300, so I think this is going to be 51 points. Great job being done by the pacemaker.
There's Van de Putte there sitting in third, effectively second behind Duplessis, so pacemaker steps off, and Edmund Duplessis has himself out there to be shot at. He was the champion in Cork. He's got 3-4 metres on the field now. This is Van de Putte letting that gap open, and look how good the South African looks down the back straight.
This is so impressive from Edmund Duplessis, perhaps buoyed by that win at the Cork City Sports the other night. He is not sitting and kicking. He was doing nothing of the sort here. He has gone for this. He has rocketed to 600 metres in 1:17. That is sub 1:44 pace. We could see something special at the Morton Games from this South African. His personal best is 1:44, but he's well on track for that if he's ahead of those pace lights. Nathan Green is up into second, the 1500 metre specialist. He always finishes strong. He looks to have a lock on second place, but it's all about the man out front. The great South African powering to the line. He's starting to tie up a little, but that's expected. 1:43 almost gets under the 1:44. 1:44.24. What a performance that is from Edmund Duplessis. It is a lifetime best for the South African champion. The stadium record, the meeting record, 1:45.3 by Mark English. That is smashed. We have never seen a 1:40, sub 1:45 here. Well, we have now, and they've gone a full second and then some under it. Edmund Duplessis with a lifetime best, a 22-year-old with a very bright future.
That was incredible call. You could see there with 250 to go, 200 to go. Like, when is he going to start slowing down? You know, 1:30 or so on the clock with 100 metres to go. Barring catastrophe, it was going to be an absolutely phenomenal time. And just outside of 1:43. If we've seen a 1:43 here, you might have officially fallen through this balcony.
I wouldn't have fallen, Jared. It jumped.
You jumped down to hug the man. What a performance. 1:44.24. Takes a second and change off the stadium record, off the meeting record set by the Irish record holder Mark English. But he just went away and he wasn't coming back to that field. Unbelievable performance. A lifetime best. What a way to do it heading into the Paris Olympics.
Yeah, brilliant. And it's great to see him qualified as well for the Paris Olympics. And he'll be a contender, because if you're running 1:44 here on your own, and look at that, he only had the pacer for 400 metres. That entire last lap was run on his own, and down that backstretch he took a few glances around him as well. He was looking back at the Belgian IRL Van de Poot as well, and seeing if there were any dangers. But you can see there, he is going to 600 at 117. None of these men could live with this. Nathan Green perhaps will ask himself the question, should I have went for it? You can see him there creeping up to 4th now, up to 3rd. He eventually came through for 2nd. That'll be a big personal best for him as well. We'll just check what exactly he ran, but he will have taken a chunk off his personal best for sure. Nathan Green, good week's work for him. But look, barely able to keep him in shot there, the cameraman Edmund Duplessis. 15 metres ahead of the rest of the field, turns for home, and obviously if you've gone out that hard you're going to start tying up, but he is absolutely flying down that home straight. You see there Nathan Green, as he did in Cork, pulling away from the pack to take 2nd. It was 1st in Cork, but it's a distant 2nd behind this man, Edmund Duplessis, powering to victory. He's a student at the University of Pretoria, as I mentioned, 4th year medicine student. And of course the stadium record was previously held by a former medical student in Mark English, now a doctor. Although he's taking a bit of a career break at the moment to train for the Paris Olympics. And Mark English, of course, breaking national records for fun. He'll be going to the Paris Olympics there. And there'll certainly be a good race as well between these two 144 men. He's not here tonight, but Edmund Duplessis, fantastic performance, 22 years old. 800 metre runners often tend to mature early in their 20s. A lot of them run their personal bests. Not all of them, of course, as evidenced by Mark English. 2 national records this year. There's lots of others as well who do it in their 30s. But this man, you'd have to say, will certainly be going a good bit faster than that in the years to come, perhaps even later this season. If he was in a race like Paris last weekend or Monaco tonight, who knows. But like we said, the conditions are pretty much perfect here this evening. There's not strong winds in most of the fields, so
when you see Niamh Fogarty here in the discus circle, the multiple time national champion for Ireland, looks to be out towards around 54 metres. Her best so far is 54.28 in her first round effort. The lead currently being held by Antonia Kinzel, the German World University Games champion from last year. 59.12 is that lead from 2nd spot of Jade Lally of Great Britain, and in 3rd Anna-Sophie Hartmann-Nielsen of Denmark, who I believe is a training partner of Niamh Fogarty over there in Denmark. Fogarty based over there and studying her PhD also remotely from ATU. So you see the 5,000 metre lineup for men will be up next on track. The action comes hot and fast here at the Morton Games. Nick Bannon, Ward DeHore, Cormac Dalton, Ty Dinger. Let's get a quick look back to the discus. We'll complete that field. Just see a big throw there from Barbara Ticha. She's gone out to 55.95 in her 2nd round. That was her 5th round effort. We'll get a look at that result. Ty Dinger, Nick Griggs, Nassim Hassous, Keelan Kilrehill, Matthew Kipkoech. Ayama Kobayagi of Japan, Amos Langat of Kenya, Zach Mohammed, Great Britain, Dave McNeil, the Australian, Ireland's Callum Morgan, Ahmed Aouda, Pearce Fella and Sean Tobin. John Travers, as Jack Raftery alluded to in his interview earlier, 3:55 here in the mile 10 years ago now at this stage, making us all feel old. Charlie Wheeler, Jack O'Leary, Niall Murphy, Abdurrahman Mohammed will be pacing the first part of the race, followed by Callum Davies taking over from him. And down on the infield we are talking to our men's 800 metre champion Edmund Duplessis with Will Dalton.
Edmund, congratulations, the fastest 800 metres ever on Irish soil. How do you feel?
Yeah, I think I'm happy. It's a PB, and yeah, I yesterday with warm-up I thought I might go fast, but with the wind this morning I didn't know if it was possible. But when the wind got less, and yeah, the conditions were good for running. Maybe a bit cold, but yeah, it's not bad.
It's fairly warm for Ireland. Talk to me about the race, because when we saw you come around for that 2nd lap, maybe some people thought you've gone a bit early, but you felt very strong. You had a sizable lead. Was it just about keeping calm and keeping ahead?
Yeah, no, I thought if I wanted to go 144 low, I might be on the backstraight on my own, but if you lose too much space then the backstraight, you can't make it up last 200. So I just thought, go backstraight and look how I feel last 200. If I can't finish last 50, I mean, at least I gave it a shot.
And this is your first trip to Ireland. Something tells me you might have to come back now.
Yeah, no, it was nice. I just hope next year the weather is also this nice.
And listen, finally, we have to ask you, obviously, what's on the horizon, the Olympics. How's everything going towards that? Are you looking forward to it? Does this give you great confidence going into that now?
Yes, no, I think this is a great last race before the Olympics. I'm going back to South Africa tomorrow. Then I'm going to be there for a week, and 21st we're going on the training camp again. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. On the Olympics, you never know what's going to happen, but I'm just going to race each heat as if it's the final.
Good stuff. Well, look, we wish you the best of luck for that, and thanks for coming. We hope to see you again soon.
I would like to echo Edmund Duplessis' request for this weather again in future years.
Absolutely, great to hear from the South African. As I said, heading home for a week or so and then back on the road to head for camp. So 1:44.22, that result is officially at. What a performance. Stealing the show so far. That is the women's high jump presentation. Urte Bikestaita getting her big blank check from the sponsors Hygo and her flowers duly so. She is the champion here at the 2024 Morton Games from Morton Stadium. 186 for the win there on that one for the Lithuanian. She's trying to get up towards those 190 marks again towards the rest of the summer, and the official result of that one, as I say, Urte Bikestaita 186, Una Stanchev of Spain 184, and the Hungarian Federa Fekete 181 for third spot. The four Irish rounding out the field: Summer Leckie 178, Ava Rochford 170, Abigail Farrell with a personal best of 165, and the multi-eventer Laura Byrne with 160.
Yeah, those clouds may look a bit dark in the screen, but just looking around, it is much brighter here in real life, so don't worry, there will still be good weather.
And some phenomenal results in our shot put competition here. 22.25 for Jordan Geist, that was just saw on screen. But we will have the men's 5,000 metres up on track. We gave you the full lineup earlier, but
yeah, that is an amazing performance. Like we said, Jordan Geist is a 22 metre thrower, but I'm pretty sure he's
22.09 was his best before this.
Yeah.
22.25.
I mean, he's a two-time Pan American medalist. He has international pedigree, the Arizona Wildcat. 25-year-old, but it's so impressive. We've seen a 22.25 shot put at the Morton Games. We have seen truly world-class efforts here within minutes, from a 22 plus meter shot put to a 144 low 800 meters. What might we see in the 5,000 meters? Those flags are perfectly calm, perfectly still, and the temperature is pretty good too. We've got a good men's 5,000 meters coming up right here.
Yeah, big field here in this one. 20 athletes plus 2 pacemakers. Dahor, Dalton, Griggs, O'Leary, Murphy, Killerhill, Morgan, Uda, Tobin, Dinger, Hasuas, Kipkoech, Kubiage, Langi, Mohammed, McNeil, Svella, Travers, Wheeler and Bannon. And down on the infield we're just going to have a quick word with our high jump champion, who is talking to Will down trackside.
Well, congratulations. Another win here at Morton. I think this is 2 in a row. Tell us about the competition. 186. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, I'm happy because I did the season best of 1 centimeter. So, and I remember last year it was a little bit rainy. The conditions weren't so great. So I love the win, and I'm happy that the weather let me jump higher than last year.
So tell us, is this the perfect conditions for the high jump? Nice, calm, little bit of sunshine, not too hot as well?
Yeah, the crowd is very nice, and I love this track. It's a little bit hard, but for the jumps it's like fits me very well.
Talk to me about the competition. It was a good field as well, so you're happy to come out on top?
At first I didn't succeed my starting height, so I was a little bit afraid that I will not jump this high, but jump by jump I just feel myself, and it was good.
And you're just outside the spots for Paris, but you're going to continue to train and see what happens over the next few weeks.
I have one more start next week in Finland, and I think I will finish my season because I have a little bit injury. So that's it.
Right, well, congratulations, and hopefully we see you back next year, maybe 3 in a row.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great to hear from our high jump champion as the Men's 5,000 metres ticks through 800 metres. We see Callum Davies there sitting in behind the leader, the Australian, familiar side at the Morton Games and indeed Cork City Sports. He obviously likes the trips to Ireland. He must love the food or the Guinness or the air or whatever it is. He certainly doesn't love the weather, I'd imagine, because he's run here before in horrific weather. But he's got much calmer conditions tonight, and they're following the pace lights, just slightly behind the pace lights there. This is the kilometre. 2:40 is the goal, and 2:40 is what it is. Pretty much bang on, high 2:39 there. 13:20 is what that converts to. A lot of these men in this field would be very, very happy with it. 13:20 tonight. Specifically the man in 4th place there in the orange vest, Nick Griggs. We flagged this up in Cork on Tuesday night that he went after Dara McElhinney's Irish under-23 record of 7:42, and he got it. 7:41 he ran. And the 19-year-old in his first year in the under-23 category, I have a strong feeling is going to be looking at Dara McElhinney's 13:17. It is a strong Irish under-23 record for 5,000 metres and thinking maybe that can be mine too. 13:36 is Griggs' current best for 5,000 metres. That is the Irish under-20 record. He has, you know, when Dara McElhinney came up and carved up the Irish record books at senior level, at junior level and at under-23 level, we figured some of those might last a long time, but then along came Nick Griggs at the age of 16, winning a European under-20 title. He's sitting in 5th in line there, and as you can see, a 19-year-old running with seasoned international seniors. He is beyond his years, and he's certainly capable of much quicker than his personal best of 13:36. And on a night like tonight, where there's barely a puff of wind and the temperature is about 17 degrees, this could be the night for a big one for Nick Griggs. But we have to remember it is only 3 days on from a 7:41 effort, so that could also be in his legs. But there's a lot of very strong athletes in this field. Going down through the start list, you know, you have a number of men who've run under 13:20. You look at Britain's Charlie Wheeler, he's a 13:20 man. Pers Vela of Norway, he's beyond his best these days, but he's run 13:19, as indeed has Dave McNeil.
You just see some split screen discus action here as well, Carl. Coming towards the final round of that women's discus, the last lap cafe event, currently being held by the Greek Agnostopoulou. I think that is her in the sector. That would be shy of the 60-metre mark for sure. 59.12 is the lead at the moment in that one. It is. Sorry, in fact, she is in 7th. Getting my bib numbers and place numbers mixed up again. Kinzel, that World University Games champion, holds the lead in that one so far still. 59.12. Her competition has ended. Just a couple athletes to throw.
Yeah, the pace. This is 2 kilometres that's coming up. And Callum Davies is indeed in here as a pacemaker, I should have noted, but he's doing a great job as well, pushing it on. 5:20 is the goal and 5:19 is what they get. This is perfectly set up. Just behind him it is the 2 Kenyans, Matthew Kipkoech, and the other one is Amos Langat. We saw them in Cork as well the other night, or we saw Amos Langat in Cork. They are accomplished athletes, look out for them. Matthew Kipkoech, just 18 years old, was 3rd in the world under-20 cross-country earlier on this year in Belgrade. Anyone who makes the podium at the world under-20 cross-country is pretty much by default already a contender at international level as a senior. He is in 2nd. Fellow Essex runner Langat is in 3rd at the moment, and it is an Irishman running with the 2 Kenyans right now. We can call him the White Kenyan, Nick Griggs from Tyrone up the north, 19 years old, and he is looking very composed in 4th place, which is essentially 3rd, because Callum Davies, I'm sure, once he gets to about 3 kilometres or just after, will be stepping aside. But he's doing a brilliant job keeping this trucking along. Remember, Morton Stadium, it's a Mondo track, it is a fast track, and you have conditions that specifically for an Irishman are just about designed for fast 5,000 metre running. A reminder, his personal best is the Irish under-20 record of 13:36 that he ran last year. That looks to be on course for major revision, and he has 2 formidable Kenyan athletes in Matthew Kipkoech and Amos Langat ahead of him.
Yeah, what does Fionn Crinan consider fast, Cathal? He says 64-second laps for a 13:20 finish. The Colossia own student, 14-year-old, who has those pace lights laid down on the track. The athlete's just a couple of clicks behind that at the moment as Callum Davies steps off the track, our final pacemaker. 6 laps to go. Liam Morgan on the infield told us a while ago that the stadium record pace is on. So what can we do here?
Yeah, and that's Ty Dinger as well, who we haven't mentioned yet much, back in 4th. He's one to look out for as well, 28-year-old American. He was 13th, knocked out in the heats of the US trials. Runs for the Wisconsin Runner Racing Team. He's a graduate of Stanford, a great academic and sporting institution. And just to rub it in, he goes from Stanford and goes and does a PhD in, where does he go, Ger? Harvard University.
Of course.
So he has brains and a whole lot of athletic talent, running for Tracksmith with those retro design singlets there. He's back in 4th, but he's a very good runner, and he looks to be targeting his personal best here, Ty Dinger, which is 13:23, and he's well on track at the moment.
Yes, just a change in the lead from the two Kenyans, but no change back behind them. Griggs still slotting in 3rd. So it is Kip Coach leading Langat here through the finish line once again, with Griggs looking comfortable behind them. As you said, Ty Dinger there in the Tracksmith stripe sitting in 4th. So there are 8 men clear from the pack here, and they are certainly going to be the men who will decide where this race goes over the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, and they're under 8 minutes there at 3 kilometres, so these 240 kilometres have stayed consistent, they've stayed fast, and they're continuing to run them. Persvela of Norway is also in there as well. Look out for him. I said earlier his best days were behind him. I looked at the wrong year on his personal best. It was run this year. It was 13:19, his personal best at the age of 32. He's better than ever, and he's in the mix here, and he's on track to break his personal best in Norwegian. He was 21st at the European Championships in Rome. He ran his personal best in Huelva, Spain, just back in April. There is so much talent in here, and we're going to see a bunch of men, I think, run under 13:20. And now that Callum Davies has stepped aside, it's so important that these men up front push things along, and that's exactly what they're doing. Matthew Kipkoesh and Amos Langat are keeping things sticking, and Nick Griggs is right with them with 4 laps to run. They have gapped the field, and these are no average athletes in behind. These are men who have run around 13:20. Some of them run under 13:20, and Nick Griggs looks like he's almost tripping over the 2 men in front of him to start pushing things.
I was just going to say that for the last couple of laps he looks like he's restricting himself just to stay in behind there and let the Kenyans do all the work. He certainly looks extremely comfortable, perhaps more comfortable we've ever seen him in a calibre of race like this. Of course, as you said, that under 23 record earlier this week, but he is slotting in behind the 2 Kenyan athletes. Looks extremely comfortable, chopping his stride a little bit, maybe even to just hold back the reins. But what can we see over the next couple of minutes here in this one? Can they get down towards the 13:0s, Cathal? As you said, it's going to be certainly sub 13:20 the way they're going so far, and they've opened up 20 metres maybe on the rest of the field here, who are already strung out from the main pack.
Yeah, it is Kip Coesh, it is Langat, and it is Griggs, and there's a 20-metre advantage. These men have kept it up brilliantly, and the crowd are rising to this. 10:05, 10:06 on the clock as they go through with 3 laps to run. So we're still on course for a time under 13:20. They've been running 64-second laps, so they could run 13:15. They could even run down around 13:10 if they can start to kick it in. 2 serious operators ahead of Nick Griggs, but he is a serious operator himself, the 19-year-old, coached by Mark Kirk up in Belfast, the Tyrone teenager. He is a special talent, and as much as athletes want to see Langat and indeed Kip Coesh run a good race, and we're seeing that, the whole crowd, 99.9% of them are right behind this youngster from Tyrone, who is slotted in on the inside alongside the 2 Kenyans, and they have opened a significant advantage over the 4 men behind them. They are on for personal best as well, the men behind them, but Nick Griggs is about to obliterate his personal best. If he holds things together over this final 2 laps, he is on for something very special. Again, a reminder, Darragh McElhinney's Irish under 23 record, 13:17. Nick Griggs has to run his last 800 metres in 2:07 to get it. I think he's capable.
Yeah, that stadium record, Cathal, myself and yourself were here for that one. Stewie McSwain being led out by Collis Birmingham in the torrential rain here in 2017, 13:19.98. So sub 13:20 is required. Meet record, stadium record. Can Nick Griggs get the win? First of all, there is a break in the field. He is now away. 2 clear. Who's there with him, Cathal?
It's Amos Langat has broken the other Kenyan. That is a world under 20 cross-country bronze medalist who has just been dropped. He's back in 3rd. He can't go with this for now anyway. Nick Griggs is on his way to a serious time. He might be on his way to a win. This is one of the best runs we've ever seen from Nick Griggs, and he has had a lot of them over the years in his short career. The 19-year-old, coached by Mark Kirk, managed by Ricky Sims, running for Puma. He's on track for something special here. there, and he is a big kicker when he gets into 5,000 metres, and he has had a dream run into this race. 12:13 on the clock. He needs a 64-second lap, and he's going to be the Irish under-23 record holder, having broken Darragh McElhinney's mark over 3,000 metres earlier this week. He looks ready to break it over 5,000 metres, and he's going to be joining the top 10 all-time seniors of any age in Ireland over 5,000 metres. But let's forget about the time for a second, because this is a race, and it is a proper race. It is a head-to-head race between Amos Langat of Kenya and Nick Griggs of Tyrone. The 19-year-old is on the shoulder in perfect position. He's going to get the Irish under-23 record, I'm sure of it. He's going to enter the all-time top 10 for Irishmen, but can he get to win? He's trying to raise an effort, but Langat looks to have too much with 100 metres to run. Langat just kicks it into gear, draws about 5, 6, 7 metres clear. Nick Griggs has given it everything. I don't think he's going to have enough to bring back Langat. The Kenyan is going to take this one. Amos Langat is going to win, but it is a brilliant run from Nick Griggs. Takes about 23 seconds off his personal best in second. 13:13 for Griggs. Around unofficial 13:12 for Langat. It is a massive Irish under-23 record for Nick Griggs for the second time in the space of 3 days. Nick Griggs has absolutely smashed it on Irish soil. Just looking down, that's going to move him into the top probably 5, maybe even top 4 Irish all-time. We're waiting for it to come up. Matthew Kipkoish, who's taken victory. Amos Langat has taken victory. 13:12 for him. Nick Griggs punches the air, salutes the crowd. They gave him so much support, and he gave them an amazing performance in return. 13:13 it comes up. We can't quite see the hundreds, but that means that Nick Griggs has gone 6th on the Irish all-time list at any age. He goes in behind Frank O'Mara, Andrew Coscoran, Mark Carroll, Alistair Cragg and Brian Fay, the only Irishmen in history to have run faster than this 19-year-old.
Yeah, and I said Amos Langat, a 12-second personal best for him there as well. The first 4 men there quicker than the stadium record and the meet record set by Stuart McSwain here back in 2017. What a race that was. And Amos Langat, he had a look behind him with the bell, and he knew it was going to take a sub 60-second lap to hold off Nick Griggs, and what a run he had himself into the home straight. He took another glance. Griggs took a glance behind him to make sure second spot was secure. Langat pulled away, but 19-year-old Nick Griggs with the performance of his life, as he does so often here on Irish soil and abroad. 2 of them this week now, 2 records in the bag and 2 huge personal bests over 3,000 and 5,000 metres, a man just outside the Paris spots for the 1,500 metres in the Olympics. But of course we have a full contingent going there regardless, as he coming up to 200 metres. Griggs still looking so comfortable in behind Langat, as he did for that whole race, just opening up the stride a little bit more, and Langat put on the afterburners with 100 metres, 80 metres to go and burnt him off. But what a performance. 13:13 on the clock, unbelievable.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Langat 13:24 his best. That was run on the roads at the Podium Festival in Leicester earlier this year. Langat is just 19 years old as well, but of course there is always a bit of uncertainty. The Kenyans will say it as much themselves around the birth certs, but still, either way, 2 teenagers leading the field home, 2 19-year-olds. Langat in first, 13:12. Nick Griggs in second, 13:13. A huge Irish under-23 record, moving 6th on the all-time Irish list.
Women's discus throw official results there, sponsored by Last Lap Cafe. Antonia Kinzel of Germany, 59:12 for the win there from Great Britain's Jade Lally, and Denmark's Anna-Sophie Hartmann-Nielsen in third, 56:46. Barbara Tidsche fourth, and Niamh Fogarty, best of the Irish, the national champion, at 54:28. And we have got the man of the moment from an Irish perspective. Certainly Nick Griggs is down trackside to talk to us.
Nick Griggs, congratulations, second place, 13:13. I think that's around 23 seconds off your PB. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's satisfying, yeah. I knew I had to limit me after Cork last week, so Cork 3 days ago, so yeah, I really wanted to come out and see how far the 14:10 I could get. And I was probably a bit delusional thinking that, you know. I was like, do I tell people if they ask me? But I've come out and proved that I didn't quite get under 14:10, but yeah, I can't be disappointed with 13:13, you know.
2 class runners in there with you. You took it out with them. You matched them stride for stride. The focus I noticed on you going around the track, you were looking just a foot in front of you. Was that you weren't worried about the competition?
That's just how I race. Like, I get that like quite a bit. Like, why you're always staring at the ground and you might not be able to see a move when it goes. But man, it's a 5k. It's not a championship 5k. It's a PS 5k. There's lights. I'm just gonna track them as much as I can, and yeah, I managed to do that. And really, in the last 200, I thought I was just sticking to him the whole time. Don't make a move, just stick. And the last 200, I just didn't have the. I thought I was gonna have more of a kick, to be honest. But I think I was hurting quite a bit, so I didn't quite have the 27 close that I maybe would have liked to. So yeah, fair play to him. He's 19 as well, so yeah, it's good to get 2 young lads out. And
actually, just talking to you now, you don't look like you're hurting.
I am. I can barely breathe. But I think it was 5k was just different for me because I've done so many 15s this year, and then on Tuesday I obviously went up to 3k, and I actually beat him on Tuesday. So it just shows that maybe I'm a bit better at 3k, but over 5k, maybe I just don't have the strength yet, and he managed to close on me. So yeah, but yeah, it was an exciting race. It was different, and yeah, I'm happy with the time, obviously.
Excellent. Well, look, we have to ask you, maybe the season hasn't gone quite to plan. I know the Olympics were thereabouts. That didn't happen, but overall, you're happy with the progress and lots to take into next season. Well, you still plenty to do this summer, but you're continuing to build.
Yeah. Right now, I'm very happy. It's been a weird season, you know, because I ran so many 15s, and I went 3:45, 5:5. So it's kind of like, I was annoying because last year I went 3:36, so I thought I'm out of school. I've started building the miles quite a lot, so I thought I honestly thought I was going to come out and run 3:33 as an opener. So it probably does show my naivety for my age, but I think all the hard work hasn't gone undone because I've just dropped 25 seconds off the 5k I ran last year. So I think we've seen, maybe so quick, but the strength really transfer over from the extra miles this year.
Nick, we can't wait to see the progress. We're going to keep an eye on you. Congratulations. Go and enjoy that. We'll see you soon.
Here, thank you.
Great interview there with Nick Griggs. Just pure raw honesty. He told Will everything he was thinking out off the top of his head, and real insightful stuff. What he was thinking during the race, what he's got planned, his thoughts coming into the season. And as he said, it's a paced race. There's lights, there's rabbits, there's everything. Why would he need to look up? He just look down at the track, and he said, watch that he doesn't clip the heels of the guys in front of him and go with them. And a huge national 123 record for the 19-year-old Irishman, but the 19-year-old Kenyan got the win today ahead of him. We see that official result of the DCU men's 800 metres, that incredible race from Edmund Duplessis out front. From 300 metres to go, he just took off and dominated by 2 full seconds, 1:44.22, huge stadium record. And Morton Games record that was from Nathan Green, 1:46.23, and Finlay McClear, 1:46.42, round out the podium there.
Brilliant 5k, and not just a time trial, even though Nick Griggs alluded to the fact of suggesting it was, but that was a brilliant head-to-head race. The 2 teenagers leading the field home. No respect for their elders, Ger. Absolutely none.
Absolutely not. We have the women's 200 metres are down on track. We just see the quick results of that, official results of that 3k. Langat, Griggs and Kipkoech, top 3. And down trackside, Aoife Lynch, Natalie Kozis-Kanakova, Shane Vermeulen, Lauren Rain James, Kirsty Edwards and Katie Bergen in this one. So keep an eye on Lauren Rain James in particular in lane 5. 22.51 at her best. And cleanly away, and on the outside there, Kirsty Edwards of Australia, out to a very good start, 23.17 at her best. She will go into the Olympics in the relay. Shane Vermeulen there, the South African, inside Lauren Rain James, coming around into the home straight. Can she get into the lead? But Rain James there in the all black in the middle, and Kirsty Edwards having a really strong run out in lane 7. But it's going to be Shane Vermeulen. The Adidas strip is going to come clear here by 2 metres from Kirsty Edwards and Lauren Rain James. 23.20 on the clock. A brilliant run and a personal best for Shane Vermeulen. 0.3 metres per second from the young South African, just 18 years of age as of May this year, so a junior athlete for another couple of years. A brilliant run for her. We've seen her in Cork earlier this week. She's adjusting to the time zone, the conditions in some style. 23.20 unofficially, 23.19 in fact corrected to. takes a 10th of a second off her personal best. And Christy Edwards, we've seen her race here before. We saw her race in Cork in the B race. She picks up second from Lauren Rain James. And we are down with the winner of that men's 5,000 metres after we just see Shane Vermeulen come across the line and takes that victory. Down trackside to Will.
Amos, congratulations, you took first place and 12 seconds, I believe, off your personal best. Job well done.
Thanks.
Tell me about the race. How was it from you? You led a lot of the race. Was it a difficult race with trying to hold off Nick behind you?
The race was not, it was so hard, but we used only tactics so that we can win the race. I'm thanking God for that.
Do you enjoy running in Ireland? Was it a nice evening? Not too cold?
Yes, I enjoyed the race.
Okay, good stuff. Listen, thank you for coming tonight. We hope to see you again soon.
Okay, thanks. I will be there.
You'll always be welcome back here, Amos, whenever you run like that and put on a show for the crowd at Morton Stadium. And, of course, giving an Irishman a helping hand as he continues his run up the record books. Nick Riggs, in his first year as an under 23, has the 3,000 metres and the 5,000 metre record. And Dara McElhinney, be it, damn, a few years is all they lasted.
Absolutely, and Amos Langat, as he said, is 19 as well, so Nick got the win over him in the 3K in Cork. Well, not the win, but he finished ahead of him on Cork just a couple of days ago. Langat takes the longer distance. Those men will be sparring, hopefully head to head on the global stage for many, many years to come.
Yeah, lots of excitement ahead for Nick Riggs. Narrowly missed out on the Tokyo Olympics, wasn't one of the top 3 ranked Irish 1500 metre runners, but he was close on the rankings. But I think most observers around the sport, despite as accomplished he is at 1500, would have to say that Nick Riggs' true future lies in the long distances, longer distances anyway. And especially when you think about what it takes to win a European medal, you look at an athlete like Nick Riggs and think there could be many European medals in his future over 3,000 metres, 5,000 metres, European indoors, European outdoors, and who knows at global level, because it seems like sub 13 may not be that many years away.
Great to hear the confidence of the young man as well, and as he said himself, maybe a bit of naivety, but that's what it takes, especially when you're young. Doesn't want to be something that you coach out of an athlete. He said he was expecting to open up with a 3:33. Maybe that was a little bit naive, but even coming today, he was thinking he could run sub 13:10, and he certainly put in a performance to justify those thoughts in the lead up to today. And a fantastic performance it was from him, and a big week on the track to solidify his place as one of the brightest talents in Irish middle distance and long distance running. Not quite going to Paris this time around, but he'll have many more chances to get those Olympic rings. And we're down to our final 3 events here, Carl. We've got that invitational international 4x1 relay coming up very shortly. It'll be the Australian team who are heading to Paris in the 4x1 up against a host of different Irish teams and university teams. We've got that women's 1500 coming up after that, sponsored by Fashion Flow. And then we have the final event of the night, the men's Morton Mile. It's going to take some beating to top those couple of races we've seen so far, particularly that men's 800 and that 5,000 metres, but the mile always does us justice here at the Morton Games.
Yeah, and we saw a win in the junior mile for Sean Cronin, and in the senior mile you can bet your bottom euro that Cathal Doyle will want to defend the honour of his home track against the invaders from the University of Washington. As we see our women's 200 metre champion Shane Vermeulen, 23:19 confirmed, 0.3 the win. So a reminder with the Morton Mile coming up at 9:10, a little over half an hour away now. The conditions could not be much better for a fast mile.
That
Granted, maybe you'd give it a few degrees warmer if you wanted.
Meet record as well from Vermeulen, beating Lorraine Bazzolo's 23:49 from a couple of years ago now at this stage, 9 years ago. Not quite the stadium record, 22:76 from Sidoni Mothersville of the Cayman Islands back 22 years ago.
Yeah, that's just brought me back to my childhood.
I know,
the name Sidoni Mothersville, many summers spent watching championships around the world.
Yeah, one of those repressed memories. I saw S Mothersville and this first name just came to me, but there we have the official run. Vermeulen 23:19, Christy Edwards 23:49, and Lauren Rain James 23:64. So Christy Edwards there in second. Will be heading to Paris with that women's 4x1 relay. And we are down trackside
Shanae Vermeulen joins me now. Shanae, that looked comfortable. You crossed that line, you had a look at the clock and everything. How was it for you? Talk us through the race.
It was a nice race. I felt comfortable. It's a nice track and I like the atmosphere. There's a lot of people here, so it was really nice.
The conditions were almost ideal for sprinting tonight, weren't they?
They were. There was no wind. I felt comfortable. There was no resistance. It was nice.
23:19. Happy with the time. Was the race good for you? Did you start well? As we said, you looked comfortable in it.
I'm happy with the time. It is a PB, so I'm very happy with that. The start felt nice coming out of the bend, and it was just comfortable the whole way.
Is this your first time in Ireland competing?
No, I went to Cork, and I came third at Cork.
Okay, so but your first visit to Ireland is something you've enjoyed?
It is something, yeah. It was very nice. I really enjoyed it here.
And you said the track is good, so we hope again to see you next year. Talk to me about the rest of your plans for this summer.
Now it's going back home almost and training for World Juniors. That's in August.
And that's in August. Is that in Lima?
Yeah.
And how hopeful are you of that? What's your hopes for that? Is it just 200 you'll be competing in?
So far I'm doing 200 and 400. So I'm still deciding how that's going to go, but I'm focusing a lot on the 200.
So we look forward to seeing you there, and hopefully you'll be back in Ireland again next year.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Huge number of the biggest watched live mile.
Yeah, 200 metres and 400 metres at the World Juniors upcoming for Vermeulen, as I said. 18-year-old South African. Meet record here in the 200 metres, and a long summer ahead for her so far before she goes back into training and off to Lima, Peru.
Yeah, it should be a cracking World Juniors coming up just about 2 weeks, just over 2 weeks after the Paris Olympics end. I was about to say Tokyo Olympics, which I've been doing for 3 to 7 years now. Well, actually, more than 3 years ago I was saying Rio Olympics all the time, but now I replaced it with Tokyo. Anyway, it is the Paris Olympics, I hope, in a few weeks' time. But the men are coming out on track for the 4x100 metres international. Countries going head-to-head here.
Yeah, the Irish team are looking to get themselves a time on the board to qualify for next year's World Relay Championships, which I think are back in the Bahamas. Of course, we had our 400 relays down there, all bar the men's team this year, and got ourselves spots for Paris in the women's and the mixed team. So the short sprinters now looking to go for that one. That senior A team, if you like, is Bori Akinola and Israel Otunde, as we saw dead heating basically in the 100 metres earlier this evening. They'll be joined by Paul Costello and Colin Doyle. There are our names on screen. I'm on the right of your screen at the moment. That's my name.
God is what we call him, not just because of his initials, but he has a divine presence.
It's my long flowy dress that I'm wearing at the minute.
Absolutely. Preaching to your people, Ger, from this balcony that we're on. Those are our Twitter or X handles, if you care to see our thoughts in writing rather than verbally.
Yeah, especially leading up to the Olympics. If you are looking to keep abreast of all the athletics news, follow Cathal there, and if you want to see Cahill's news twice, follow me, because I'll just retweet him all year.
I occasionally retweet Ger as well. He creates some humorous memes.
Indeed.
Join us, people.
Absolutely. But Cathal, of course, will be in Paris on journalism duties there, so if you want to keep in touch with everything in the world of athletics, give him a follow there and you'll be right up to date for the next couple of weeks and beyond. We have 6 teams going in this one. We've got an Irish InterVarsity team going in lane 2. We'll have the Australian Olympic team going in lane 3. Then we have Ireland's selection going in 4. The senior Irish team will be in 5, and our under 20 teams in lanes 6 and 7 for Ireland, going just outside the seniors. So 5 Irish teams, and then the Australian team will be taking to the track here. Let's see what they can do. Ireland's national record 39.26. The guys were in Rome competing, just missed that national record. I think it was the second fastest time we've ever run, Ireland have ever run the 4x1 there at the European Championships, but they'll be hoping to try and take that down here today. Stadium record and meet record just slightly quicker than that, 39.14 from the Netherlands 11 years ago at this stage now. So our first leg runners that we will see there getting their blocks ready. We've got Hamsley Okoma of the InterVarsity team. Lachlan Kennedy leads out the Australians. Ken Omuera leads out the Ireland selection team. Our senior Irish team is Bori Akinola on leg 1. Emmanuel Akinrolli leads the green under 20 team, and Duben Ama on the white team.
Yeah, this should be very interesting to see. 4x1's always tricky. Changeovers, especially at international level. You know, at club level, athletes get to practice this, they get to drill it, but at international level, not so much. Athletes based in different places don't get to practice the exchanges. It can often go horribly wrong, as we so often see at championships, but we shall see tonight here at the Morton Games. But again, it is good conditions, so it's a very good chance to run a fast time. So a reminder that we will have the men's invitational international 4x100 meter relay, then we'll have the women's 1500, then just the closing, Behan & Associates, Commercial Hygiene Services, Morton Mile. And just looking down the pace list, that are pace light man Fionn, and by man I mean boy, 14-year-old Fionn, runner at Rathfarnham, is on the pace light duty tonight, and it'll be really interesting to see how he fares. 58 seconds a lap is the Morton Mile pace. 3:52 that will tee it up for. Women's 1500 will go out at 65 seconds a lap. 4:05 is the target there, but again, we've seen that it's gone out on that pace and then kicking it in hard and closing well. It is an ideal night for fast times here at the Morton Games.
Disappointing here from the Australians, called perhaps one of my favourite names in track and field at the minute, Sebastian Sultana. I've seen him withdraw from the Cork City Sports during the week, so he's not lining up for the 100 metres for the Australians here in this relay either, but he will be fielded by Lachlan Kennedy, Jacob Despard, Chris Ayas and Josh Azapardi. So a lot of green out there. Then we've got our white singlet on the outside for our Ireland white. Dubem Ama leading the team off there in that one. So again, our first leg runners from lane 2 outwards, we've got Hamza Okoma, Lachlan Kennedy of Australia, Kem Onwera of the Ireland selection team, our senior team Bori Akinola leading us as he did in Rome at the European Championships, Emmanuel Akinrolli in lane 6, and Dubem Ama goes in lane 7. So it should really be lanes 3 versus lane 5 here for those sub 40 second clockings. What can the lads do? Can we get close to that Irish national record, solidify a spot towards the World Relay Championships next year, and for the Australians get themselves all tuned up for the Olympic Games. Silence around the stadium as the men stand behind their blocks awaiting starters' orders. Still calm down the back straight. Those flags are back to not a budge, so it is dead calm here. Starter just raises his gun, checking the technical issues. We see big crowd still here in the stadium. The good Irish weather, good in inverted commas for the rest of Europe, but for Morton Stadium in Ireland here, we're getting as good as it gets. And certainly for the Morton Games the last few years, it's been a bit of a washout weather-wise. We've gotten the worst of it. But calm and cool here this evening. What can these men do? Call to our marks for Invitational International 4x1. Australia versus Ireland versus an Irish selection versus 220 teams versus our inter-varsity team from lane 2. Okoma, Kennedy, Onwera, Akinola, Akinrolli and Ama leading out the teams here. Keep an eye on the clock. Went a long hold there and told to stand up, thankfully. And there's a little bit of a rumbling around the stadium, wondering what's going on. We have our infield announcer Fintan Riley is giving the starter a hand with the microphone, so just a few gremlins in the starter's box. Technically, the tunes come back on to entertain the crowd, and the lads just do a little bit of stride to keep the legs fresh after a few minutes of standing around.
Yeah, nervy times, but no better way to prepare for the white hot heat of a summer championship that a lot of these men will be competing in, whether or not this year, in the years ahead. And no bigger championship, as you well know, Ger, than a relay. one thing having your own nerves, but having the nerves of 3 other men and perhaps your club, maybe even your country, depending on you, is a nerves like no other.
Absolutely. There's one thing about warming up for your individual event, and if there's things can come in the middle of a long season where you're like, I'm a little bit under the weather or a little bit of a niggle here and there, you're getting towards the start line of a relay and you're thinking, I need to make sure I get this batting around, because if something goes wrong, it's a lot of people disappointed, not just myself. So you kind of need to make sure you're ready to rock. But as you said, these little bits of nerves and technical issues do no harm. These can pop up at the world's greatest stage as well. Athletes need that preparation for a little bit of interruptions or distractions or catastrophes. At some stage you arrive and you've dropped your spikes in the hotel, or you've missed the bus, or the bus doesn't show up. You need to be ready to react. No such drama here, just a few minutes of a wait for the starter to get themselves ready to rock again. He has moved closer to the athletes. We're on to our backup equipment. The lads are being told to get back behind their box once again. 3 changeovers. We'll be keeping an eye on the flags to see is there any issues with those as well. Hopefully everyone can get to stick around in one piece, and we'll see some fast times. So our intervarsity team are in lane 2, Australia go in lane 3. Lachlan Kennedy there with the baton leading them out. The Irish selection, Ken Onwera, Tolobori Akinola in lane 5 for the Irish senior team. 2 junior teams then, Emmanuel Akinrolli in 6 and Duba Mama in the white t-shirt out there in lane 7. And we get away this time of action, and it's a great start there from Ken Onwera, as is for Bori Akinola, and Kennedy for Australia catching up with Onwera now, and he's going to try and hand it over cleanly as he does, and the Aussies are into the back straight. Paul Costello going for the Irish senior team very, very well, and for Australia there is Jacob Despard trying to close him down, but it is very close so far. Another clean changeover for the Australians, and it's a big reach for the Irish team. I'm not sure if that one went through cleanly. We'll keep an eye on the flags from the officials, but the Australians are well clear at this stage. They've got 5-6 metres after that dodgy changeover from the Irish. But into the back, into the home straight, it is Australia coming away with it. Josh has a party. He has got 10-15 metres from Ireland's fastest man, Israel Otunde, trying to close him down. And on the clock it is 39.00. It is a meet record for the Australians. Maybe corrected to sub-39 clocking. Israel Otunde comes through in third. I think it was the Irish selection of senior athletes that took the third spot, but we'll keep an eye on the flags for those Irish men to see what they are given by the judges on that second changeover at the 200 metre mark. It was just a stretch between Paul Costello and Colin Doyle on that one. They got the baton around. We'll just see a replay of that changeover here, just right in the middle of the screen there. Paul Costello with the baton in his left hand, Colin Doyle with a reach for it that is just outside the zone there, so that will be a DQ for the Irish team, unfortunately, for the senior team.
And the cameraman is right on that.
Absolutely.
Whatever chance they had of getting away with it just evaporated.
Yeah, I don't know if the flags went up or not, but I have officially DQ'd them here from the commentary box in here for sure. So unfortunately,
waving at the judges, protesting here.
I can tell them they ran 39.83 on the clock, but unfortunately, at least the baton went around, so everyone got a run. It is always important. So Colin got his leg in, as did Israel. A nice chasing home straight down against Josh as a party there, but I think once the footage is reviewed and the judges do their jobs, that may be just a DQ for the Irish team. But 38.98 I believe it is on the clock, so takes down that stadium record of 39.14 and meet record from the Netherlands way back in 2013, and nice to see a 38-second run here in Ireland as well for the Aussie team as they tune up for the Olympic Games. That is the end of our sprints action on the track as well. So the results so far for that one may be adjusted, but the Australian team 38.98, taking the win there comfortably on that one. A nice smooth run in still cold conditions here. The Irish senior team 39.83 and 41.05 for the Irish selection. The first of the juniors, the under 20s, 41.35.
Yeah, very provisional results, but of course the judge over on that backstretch has to see it. There's no more blind eyes than national eyes, Ger.
Absolutely, it's not really one worth passing over in that sense, though.
But yes, they have to obviously spot it. Maybe they're looking the wrong place at the wrong time.
Maybe that green wheelie bin got in the way.
Yeah, Accidentally on purpose, but yeah, look at this here.
Third.
You can see Doyle. They're certainly on the stretch. He went early, but the hand is there, reachable. Is Doyle's arm a bit high, perhaps?
I'm not sure. I think he does leave out a nice solid target there. Maybe
He
just
does.
went to a little bit early, but I think
Yeah.
Paul Costello possibly could have just got the baton up a step or two early. And now I'm sure they have set. It's much more precise than what we're talking about here. He knows when he's supposed to put that baton into the hand of Colin Doyle, so they can maximise they can minimise how much they run. Basically, get the baton across without having to run those 2 meters of track. But yeah, unfortunately, it looks like it was outside the zone there, and certainly, if nothing else, it slowed them down. But we're down trackside with the Irish team, with Will. He has got the 4 men from that team, from that relay team.
Well, congratulations. Another good run out for the team. How was that tonight?
That was good. I knew what I had to do, learning from how we ran in Rome, looking at the splits. I wasn't happy with my time, so I knew like this was the time to actually forget about that, learn from it, and just go after the team. Yeah, so I just, in my head, it was just go out as hard as I can, run the bend like I've never run before, and that was it. So it was good. I think it was good. It was a good.
Paul, you were left waiting out there for a bit. There was a bit of a few problems with the start, but how did that affect you?
I suppose it didn't help. It let the nerves kick in a tiny bit maybe, but I felt like me and Bory got it on well, and then my inexperience kind of showed passing over to Colin. I didn't give it to him in a great position there. I'm delighted just to get my first run out with the lads.
And Colin, is that just down to practice? Is this what these races are? Building this 4x100 team spirit, getting the time on the track, I suppose, as a team.
Yeah, absolutely. Like 4x1 relay is so technical. Like there's no room for error, and so practice is a huge thing. We do how we get cards get dealt to us, I suppose. But we just do our best when we get out here and try to take as many opportunities as we can.
And Israel, you've been at the forefront of seeing these relay teams, the sport they've got from the community, from athletics and the country as a whole. Is this something you guys are really keen to do, to get this 4x100 team through the ranks, better times, qualified for major tournaments?
100%. So it's an honour to represent Ireland, but represent Ireland on a relay is a different type of feeling. So proud of all the lads tonight. Obviously we want to go way quicker, but there's still lots to be gained from this, and it's just a proud moment for all 4 of us. So
I get a good feeling from you guys. Is this just the start?
What?
Is this just the start?
Oh yeah, like we have way more to come, and like with all the talent on the team, there's so much more we can achieve with this. We just need constant practice. We need as much support as we can get to get out to more training sessions together, more races together, and it'll come. It'll definitely come.
Good stuff. It looks like there's a lot more there. Lads, congratulations. We'll see you soon.
Alex Tubal from the United States. Taylor Werner from the United States.
Yeah, good to hear from the lads there down trackside. As I say, it's a team absolutely stocked with talent. Just need that little bit more practice, more time together. They've been on the track this week with their head coach Daniel Kilgallen, and it said that Irish selection team in there with them, as well as others who are not even here today, who will be fighting for places on that team. But the more time they can spend together and get those changes nailed down. Paul Costello saying a little bit of an experience, his first time running with the A squad, I suppose, and it's great for him to get a run out in that one.
Yeah, the women are on the start line. You're seeing the start list for that women's 1500. Number 12 there, Sophie O'Sullivan of Ireland. Born and raised in Melbourne, but of course with a very strong Irish roots in Sonia, her mother, Olympic silver medalist and world champion. And Sophie O'Sullivan off to the Olympics in a couple of weeks' time. And we'll see how she gets on. She wasn't happy to run over 3,000 metres the other night, but she's dropping down to her specialist distance. Sophie O'Sullivan will see what she does tonight. This will be a much better indication of her form. Sophie O'Sullivan, the Irish European under-23 champion. Lots of talent in here though against her. Look out for Eleanor Fulton. She was 4th in the 3,000 metres in Cork the other night, the 31-year-old American, semi-finalist at the US Olympic trials recently. And Taylor Werner, such an impressive run in Cork the other night. She won there, and she's run 4:12 is her personal best, so this is very much at the bottom end of Taylor Werner's range. And looking around as well in the field, also Shannon Flockhart is in there. She'll be a big contender here, the British athlete, 22-year-old Providence College student. 4:05 her season's best, 6th in the NCAA finals. Look out for her. She's 7th in the lineup from right to left. That's making my head hurt trying to count across. So, on the start line for the women's 1500, and away they go. The pace we're looking for here, a reminder, 65 seconds a lap. So it's around about 4:04 pace. They can keep it going. And we see our pacemaker Kendra Coleman break from the outside. And Shannon Flockhart there settling in behind Great Britain. But all the field bunched together. You see Taylor Werner there, who's stepping down to 1500. She's in the orange top, pink shorts. Puma athlete, coached in North Carolina by none other than former Irish record holder, 5,000 metres, Alistair Craig, still at 10,000 metres as well. European medal. Oh, and we have a faller. We have a faller in the middle of the pack. It's Laura Pellicoro of Italy has gone down there, unfortunately. She still has contact, there's still time, but they certainly lost about 3 or 4 seconds there as Kendra Coleman toes the field through here. 64 point on the clock is perfect pacemaking. And then it is Eleanor Fulton there back in second at the moment, the tall athlete, the American, 31-year-old. As I mentioned, semi-finalist at the US Trials. 4:07 her personal best, and she was a close fourth the other night over 3,000 metres as well in Cork. I believe she's based in Colorado. You see Taylor Werner there, who was so impressive in Cork the other night, just moving up into fourth position. She might find the gears turning a bit quick for her in the final 200 metres. Taylor Werner, she's more of a 5k 10k athlete, but she's a very accomplished 5k 10k athlete. Pan American Games silver medalist over 5,000 metres last year, and she'll be looking to rewrite 4:12 her personal best for 1500, and she's well on track to do that as they come up with 2 laps to go. But it's Fulton, Ger, who's just starting to gap the field a bit here.
Yeah, pacemaker of course doing a great job there as well. As you've seen her in the 800 metres earlier, Kendra Coleman, and yeah, she's the one who's going with her, but there is just a little bit of change in behind her now. They are starting to close those gaps at the back. As I said, the faller, our Italian athlete Laura Pellicoro, is back up in this race again, so let's see how that fall affects her as they come into the final minute or two of running, and as the pacemaker just steps off the track. But Fulton becomes our de facto leader as we come up towards that 200 metre mark. Tall athlete leads the way here in that all black strip, and she starts to just move a little bit again. She's got a meter there on the field, looks smooth and comfortable. We saw Nick Griggs looked really relaxed earlier in that 5,000 metres, and we're seeing similar here from Fulton, just cruising around there. 4:03.03 is her personal best, so she is one of the fastest in the field, just behind Sophie O'Sullivan and her 4:02 PB. But certainly Fulton at the minute looks comfortable and full of running.
Yeah, Fulton has command at the moment, but Flockhart is moving into contention on the outside. Shannon Flockhart, look out for her, the British athlete. She is going to be tough to beat here. As I mentioned, 6th at the NCAA's, 4:05 her personal best. She could be on track to beat that, but Fulton has command at the moment out front. The 31-year-old American, impressive the other night in Cork, but she stepped down to her specialist distance. And look out too for Nancy Sharop of Kenya. She has closing speed. She is a 4:09 athlete. She's on for a personal best here. But at the moment it is Fulton from Flockhart from Sharop, and Flockhart has said as enough is enough with just over 200 metres. She has done the Josh Kerr to Jakob Ingebrigtsen and seized command, but Sharop is right on her shoulder. And I think it is Lauren Nagel there of New Zealand starting to come around as well. And look at Sophie O'Sullivan from the clouds, the Irish woman, the European under-23 champion. She was so far back, but Sophie O'Sullivan, as she's so often done, is producing a huge finish, the University of Washington student. But Shannon Flockhart has flown the Britain. Powers clear. She takes victory. 4:04.99. It is a lifetime best for Great Britain's Shannon Flockhart, the Providence College student. She takes victory. Sophie O'Sullivan with a huge step forward there on her season's best. Back in second, a brilliant run from her. 4:08 was her previous best. She's run about 4:05, at worst 4:06 there, but it's 4:04.98 officially for Shannon Flockhart. That is a big personal best.
Yeah, full second off her previous PB, 4:05.99 before that, so a wonderful run there from her, and into that home straight she just tore them all apart, kept that lead. Sophie O'Sullivan storming home that last 200. I'd love to get a replay and see the clock on that, but 4:05.77 for her, so a nice step forward in her season. It's been a bit of a slow burner, and we just see This is the very start of the race. We see the fall here from the Italian Pellicolo in the middle. Just goes. It is Nancy Sharop comes across behind her to make a move and flips her heels, and unfortunately for Pellicolo, she is the one that hits the deck. And Nancy Sharop strides on none the wiser, happy out. And nearly another issue there from Fulton there, just a little bit of a change of stride as well. Again, Sharop just said, here, this is my track, I do what I want.
Absolutely. Fulton, one of the graduates of the University of Washington, and there comes current student at the University of Washington. Sophia Sullivan says hello and steps out into lane 2, that lane of high hopes. And so often we see when Sophia Sullivan gets into a scrap in that part of the race, she is very tough to beat, but not quite at her brilliant best there up the home straight. Just didn't have the power to match Shannon Flockhart, who was so impressive, so composed, and a very elegant stride. And Will is down talking to Shannon.
Shan, congratulations, a meeting record, a new personal best I think for you as well. You've got to be happy with that.
No, I'm delighted with that. It's been a long season for me, so this is my last race, so I was just like hoping the legs felt good, and yeah.
Well, you looked comfortable, and that was a right battle in the last 200 and 100.
Yeah, I knew they were coming for me, so it's just like get to the line, and the time was a bonus, so.
How were you coming into this race, and what did you expect from it?
I ran in Cork, the 800. Wasn't quite what I wanted, so yeah, I knew a PB was possible, so yeah.
Well, it's a great way to end the season. How has the season been for you overall? A few ups and downs?
It's a few ups and downs, that's just always the way, but yeah, I know I'm delighted with it overall.
Okay, and listen, tell us what's the plan for the rest of the summer? A bit of a holiday?
Now, yeah, a break. I'm going to Paris to watch the Olympics, so yeah, it's just fun now.
It's not a bad way to spend the summer. Thanks for coming, we hope to see you again.
Thank you, thanks.
Great stuff there from Shannon Flockhart. That's a nice way to spend the summer. And you know what, it's good to see athletes as well be fans of the sport, not just participating at the top level as Shannon Flockhart is, but also coming out and going, you know what I'd love to do with my break? I'd love to go and watch the best in the world. Sophia Sullivan there, the big season's best in second. Nancy Sharop in third. 4:06 for her. I think that might be a personal best. It is. Nancy Sharop with a lifetime best by 3 seconds there. And then Laura Nagel back in fourth. That, I think, could be a personal best for her as well.
Yeah, we won't have the review of the championships. There's nobody going to be putting in appeals looking to get places in the final here, so I think Nancy Sharop will be safe enough in her time there in her PB. She danced her way around the track for many lanes and in and around the athletes and got herself a lifetime best. As a reward, you'll see the crowds there applauding our champion there, getting her big blank check and her record breaker sign on the screen.
Well done to Shannon Flockhart.
Yeah, that was a meet record by 2 seconds. 4:06.73 from Alexa Ephraimson in 2017. Our previous best here, stadium record 4:05.75. So that goes down as well. None other than Sonia O'Sullivan's 30-year-old record here in Morton Stadium.
So world records at 1 mile.
And beats her daughter to boot.
Absolutely. Alexa Ephraimson was a brilliant American junior athlete. Injuries held her back at senior level. Unfortunately, premature retirement. But she's lost her record here. The Morton Games. So, one event remaining, and it's the one we always wait for at the Morton Games, is the Behan and Associates Commercial Hygiene Services Men's Morton Mile. There is a whole wealth of talent in here. From Italy there, Mohad Abdikader. He's one to watch. 3:35 athlete Piers Copeland, the course of Britain. He'll be in contention. He was also in Cork. Cathal Doyle, though, probably the big hope for Ireland. He's going to the Paris Olympics, number 4 there, in flying form. Personal best of 3:34 this year, and got to win on the Continental Tour in Turku, 3:34.09. Look out for Brian Fay, though, as well. Raheny man, graduate of DCU and indeed the University of Washington. There's a lot of University of Washington men in here. One of them is number 7 there, Luke Hauser. He will be headed up to the Brooks Beast to train with Danny Mackey in the autumn. See him in the luminous green strip. Completing this lineup, Killian Kerwin of the local club Raheny, Casey Navalbard of the United States, Charlie O'Donovan of Leevale, good run in Cork the other night. He'll be looking for quicker here. Sam Prackle of the United States, 350 miler at his best. Again, very likely to be in contention as well here. Bronze medalist in the mile at the World Road Running Championships last year. Look out for Sam Brackle. And there's just running through some of the other big contenders. Adam Spencer of Australia as well. 22-year-old Wisconsin Badger. 3:31 for 1500 last year. Australian champ earlier this year, but a worrying run in Turku where Cathal Doyle took victory. He only finished 10th, I think it was, over there. Can Adam Spencer bounce back ahead of the Paris Olympics? He's already got selection, and it was no easy thing to get selection on that Australian team. Adam Spencer will be looking for a confidence booster ahead of the big one in a few weeks' time.
Adam Spencer.
We're seeing some of these athletes be introduced here.
Yeah, you see Cathal O'Reilly's name is on screen there. He was shown on the screen there walking into the infield, or the inside lane rather. He's a sub 4 miler earlier this year. 3:44 1500 metre best. As you see, that is Abdelkader there in the blue on the right hand side of your shot.
This man is a big contender, Joe Wascombe. He is a serious operator. He didn't have the best run in Cork the other night. He is still based at the University of Washington. I said earlier that Nathan Green had gone pro. I was corrected, thankfully. Twitter is very helpful, and thank you to Paul Merca, expert resource for all things University of Washington in that part of the world. And he's actually just signed an NIL, and he's going to stay in college, and he's continued coached up there by Andy Powell, who's done such a brilliant job. The stable of milers that's come out of there in recent years, and indeed other distances. Brian Fay we saw there as well, of course. 3:52 mile he ran indoors on that oversized track up in Seattle. 25 years old. He's a specialist, longer distances. 3:13.01 for 5,000 metres. Look out for Brian Fay here. Could be targeting that personal best. Luke Hauser there you saw as well, of that Brooks Beast, and this will be the most popular man tonight if he was up the front. Ephraim Gidai. Originally from Eritrea, naturalised Irish citizen, came here as an asylum seeker, and he is so well loved in these parts. Ephraim Gidai, he had a fantastic run last week, obliterated his personal best 13:23 for 5,000 metres. This will test his speed hugely. He is not expected to live with these men, but he could attack that 4-minute barrier. Sam Brackle there, of course, another big contender here. University of Oregon graduate. There's a lot of students here from the University of Oregon tonight who are spending a few weeks in Ireland. They'll be, I'm sure, be keen to talk to the fellow Oregon Duck. Sam Brackle is a 3:50 indoor miler, and he went out in the semi-finals at the US Olympic trials. Sam Brackle has 4 total US titles, so he will be a big contender here.
And he has won here in the past, Cathal, as well, Sam Brackle, so he's a familiar face in these parts, and he's looking to get his hand back on that trophy again. See Killian Kerwin there, the local Raheny man, breakthrough to 1:45 over 800 metres this year. Charlie O'Donovan was a sneaky 3:56 in Cork the other day. We didn't notice there was 12 men sub 4. It's hard to keep an eye on everybody, but yeah, another good run from him. See Sadiki beside him and Casey Neville-Bard, and there is the other local hero. Cathal Doyle will be heading to the Olympics in the 1500 metres in Paris for Ireland. Clonliffe Harrier. What can he do here? Can he regain a title as the Morton Mile champion or pacemaker? Juan Ignacio Peña of the Dublin Track Club via Chile.
Absolutely. I believe it's the Chilean branch, the Santiago branch of the Dublin Track Club, but he's a great pacemaker, Juan Ignacio, and he'll be towing things along. The plan is 58 seconds a lap. 3:52 at the finish. No biggie.
And Colushta Owens, Fionn Crinions, age 14. His pace lights lead the charge here for these men once Juan Ignacio steps off the track. But he has gone to the front so far, straight away with Luke Hauser slotting in behind him very comfortably. And it looks to be clipping along quite nicely. We're strung out very early on already, so Juan Ignacio out front looking comfortable. Hauser sitting in back, leading the rest of the men through, and Cathal Doyle just slots into third, second effectively in the race. So looks smooth out front. They're through that 200 metre line, sub 30 seconds, and it'll be certainly on pace for 58. Bit of pushing and shoving back in the middle of the pack there. Just see a few hands going out, but no fallers as of yet. It's a big field here as well in this Morton Mile. They come through around the 300 metre mark in 44, so it'll be sub 60-second pace here when they come through the line. And it is, of course, the pacemaker Peña, Hauser, and the local hero Cathal Doyle sitting there in second place. If Doyle is up the front, he rarely finishes outside the top 1 or 2 in races, so he wants to be up there and stay there.
Yeah, they've gone out fast here, and Luke Hauser is keen to get on with things. He'll be joining the Brooks Beast. You wouldn't miss him in that luminous strip. We've seen Josh Kerr wear those colours, although Josh Kerr got some special kit from the Brooks Beast under the guidance of Danny Mackey. He'll have big things in his sights in a few weeks' time. I'm sure he was watching as Jakob Ingebrigtsen ran 3:26 in Monaco tonight, but this is all about what's happening on the track here, and we were about to see a very fast mile on Irish soil in this stadium that has seen world records in the past. Luke Hauser likes Dublin. He's been here for about over a week now. He ran in Croke Park at half-time in the All-Ireland hurling semi-final in front of 82,000 people last weekend, and he was so impressive there, and he is so impressive here, running a very different race to what he ran in Cork City Sports the other night. Very keen to keep things pushed along here. They're coming up to 800 metres. 154 was the goal, 155 on the clock as they pass 800. Of course, an extra 9 metres to run, but they are on for something fast here. We could see the stadium record go down. Just looking back to field, Brian Fay has been gapped. He's back in about 12th, and he's just trying to maintain contact with the two Irishmen just in front of him. But at the moment, it is Luke Hauser in command, but Cathal Doyle, the home man, in back in third, looks ready to strike.
Yeah, well strung out, and the pace is hot. They're going to try and use those lights that are lit up out in front of them. That is on 3:52 pace. But as we always see, there's going to be a big last lap from these men, and no more man better to do it than Cathal Doyle. But out front, it is still Hauser chasing down from
Adam Spencer. Who's taking control out front at the moment. The Australian champion this year. He had a disappointing run, as I mentioned, in Finland, but with the Paris Olympics, the clock keeps on ticking, and the clock here at the Morton Games keeps on ticking. So it is Australia first, USA second, USA third, Ireland fourth. Which country is it going to be? Which athlete it's going to be who reigns supreme in the 2024 Morton Mile? Sophie O'Sullivan is down there trackside. She could be cheering for the Irishman, or she could be cheering for her teammates at the University of Washington, or cheering for all of them. But Adam Spencer is pushing things along at the front. But look at Sam Prackle back in second. He goes for it. He goes for broke with 2:50 to run. Joe Wascombe as well.
And look at Brian Fay coming up through the field with that 300 metres to go. Brian always has a fast finish in a 5,000, a 10,000. Look at him go on the mile. He is picking off places here, and he's going to come around into second place here, I think, with 1:20 to go. Sam Prackle is out front. He is leading this one for home, but Brian Fay is battling it out with his countryman Cathal Doyle. 100 metres to run. It's Prackle. It's Doyle. It is Brian Fay, and Cathal Doyle, the home hero, has the roar of the crowd. Can he hold on here from the former champion? He is going to win it again. Brian Fay is battling for second, but 3:52.07 on the clock. Cathal Doyle takes down the title from Sam Prackle, another former champion, and another local Dublin man. Brian Fay with a brilliant blistering run there. As always, a fantastic last lap. But what about Doyle? A fantastic performance. He looked like a little bit out of it towards the bell, but he is never in doubt. When he's up through the top 5 with a lap to go, he's always the man to beat.
What a run from Cathal Doyle, executed to perfection. Brian Fay once again will ask himself a very hard question. Why was I so far back with 400 to go? Because if Brian Fay had any sort of a sniff with 300 to run, the way he finished, that was his title. But he did get there, but he had used up so much energy from being gapped off the back of the field at halfway, detached at one point, fighting to maintain contact. He found the superhuman strength once again to come round the entire field. But when you're going up against a man like Cathal Doyle, who's going to be running at the Olympics in a few weeks' time, and who has a big kick on his home track, you can't use up too much energy before you go to war to him. And Cathal Doyle still hadn't gone for broke until he got into that home straight. Sam Prackle once again with another fantastic run from second, continuing the honour of so many performances he's shown here over the years, Sam Prackle. But it is two Irishmen on the podium, and look at the scenes as Cathal Doyle. You know, a couple of years ago he raced Andy Coscoran here, and I think all the Clonliffers here thought he'd got the verdict, but a Superman dive from Andrew Coscoran handed him victory. But tonight the celebrations will continue for Cathal Doyle, probably not for too long, because he's got the Paris Olympics coming up. But we watch it back here. Look at Brian Fay, 7th place. He has 10 full metres there behind Sam Prackle as he goes down the back straight. It's just ground you cannot concede at this level against athletes of this calibre. It was, let's be honest, it was a brilliant run by Brian Fay. He wasn't going to be favoured to win that race, but he will ask himself questions about his tactics.
Yeah, when they went by the high jump mark there with like 3:50 to go, he was probably in 10th or 12th. and you could just see him moving. You were keeping an eye on the action out front. I was keeping an eye on any stragglers behind making moves, and Faye just hit the afterburners. But as you said, once again, it's a little bit too little too late. Doyle streaks through. Faye came up onto his shoulder with 100 to go. He said, no, it's mine. Prekel with a brilliant run, took it on after the pacemaker, and it is a club record for Cathal Doyle, 3:52.06, Prekel 3:52.32, and an outdoor PB, I suppose, for Brian Faye of 3:52.41. A long track PB as opposed to a short track PB.
400 metre track PB, we'll call it. I never know how to talk about that track.
It's probably a 400 metre PB for Brian Faye as well as that.
Yeah, but excellent stuff from the two Dubliners on the podium, split by Sam Prekel, once again turning in a brave, brilliant effort there in second at 3:52 mile. We said the conditions were good, they certainly were good, and we saw one heck of a show as we see Cathal Doyle basking in the glow of his victory.
Heading to the Olympics, Colin. Of course, Brian Faye is going to the Olympics in the 5,000 metre, the Irish record holder. Just see him rush off the track towards the bathroom by the looks of it. The toll of that lactic acid in the last lap, those excess hydrogen ions, Colin.
Yes, not the lactic acid, the imbalance of hydrogen ions. Thank you, Ger. You know your science.
I was waiting for correction.
Perhaps a bit of baking soda was taking tonight.
Indeed.
To help that lactate buffering. Who knows? But Cathal Doyle is the champ, and you have to say exciting things ahead for Brian Faye, because having taken third place here tonight in a 3:52 mile, especially with the way he ran it, there could be big things ahead. Who knows? If Brian Faye can produce a finish like that and be close enough at the business end of the race, he could get into that Olympic final in Paris. He's in great form at the moment, as is Cathal Doyle out front. Two Irishmen, two Dubliners, two North Dubliners heading off to Paris in flying form.
Absolutely a nice little confidence boost, as the whole season has been for Cathal Doyle. He's in the form of his life. PBs all around, every race getting faster and picking up wins and seconds all around as well. But to come here to his home track, the big event, the final event, the swan song in front of a huge crowd, and he takes home the title once again as the Morton Mile champion. He is buzzing. 3:52.06, a huge PB. And just looking down through the field, it's 8th place is 3:54 here. It's when those results pop up on screen, we'll certainly see some fast times all the way through the field. Just getting his presentation here up onto the flat podium.
Cathal Doyle has done a lot of winning in recent months, especially. I think it's a great sign. He's run 3:34. I think there's little doubt that he can run faster than that for 1500, but what you really like to see coming into championship is someone who's winning races. He's out there racing international level, a lot of world-class milers he's gone up against in recent weeks. He's been out there on the circuit, training a lot over in England now. Some of the top British athletes. And Cathal Doyle hoists that trophy high and proud. The Clonliffer is the champ.
We have the national anthem now playing as Cathal holds his trophy aloft on his stage. The Beano Associates Commercial Hygiene Services Men's Morton Mile Champion 2024.
Great to have the sound of our own Naveen ringing around the Fable Stadium, Morton Stadium here in Century, on a beautiful evening. And I hear 14 men have run under 4 minutes there. I think Ephraim Gidey was one of them. Just the result flashed up on screen. I'll just have a look at that and we'll pull up the results, and we will grab a quick chat with Cathal Doyle, because we're going to want to hear from our champ before we sign off from a spectacular edition of the Morton Games this evening. I'm just looking. Yeah, it's certainly 14 men. We haven't got the results officially yet, but Will Dalton is going to be pulling, I'm sure, Cathal Doyle away from those photographers to grab a quick chat with him. Cathal Doyle is down there shaking hands with John Cronin, one of the great men of Irish athletics, and Lee Morgan, who's done a brilliant job as always on commentary. He was on commentary duties as well in Croke Park last week.
Looks like 4:04 for Ephraim Gide, I'm afraid, Cathal, but Killian Kerwin 3:58 there, the 800 metre specialist. Fantastic run. But we have nabbed the champ away from those photographers. Will Dalton is down on trackside with them. And we hear athlete of the meet announced by Fintan Riley is the Morton Mile champion. So Cathal, been another fantastic performance here at the Morton Mile, but a whole evening of unbelievable athletics as always. We're signing off once again for 2024. Your highlight before we hand down to Will?
I will have to go with that. I mean, I think Cathal Doyle and Nick Griggs for me, the two. It's two spectacular performances, brilliant stuff, and what a way to tee up the Paris Olympics. It was amazing.
Absolutely. Down trackside now, and thanks once again for tuning in. We have our champion with Will.
Cathal, congratulations. What a victory and what a prestigious race. This season just keeps getting better and better for you, doesn't it?
Yeah, you know, this was the one I've always wanted since I started running when I was 14. I've been watching. So no, this one means a lot. It's probably cliche to say Clonliffe man, but the support I get from the club and to go into the bar now after is going to be pretty sweet. So, you know, it feels really good.
So remember, there's Olympics coming up. Look, talk to us about the race. A stacked field, so many strong names in that. Were you confident going in, considering the form you're in?
Yeah, I still, you know, you still struggle with a bit of nerves and in terms of doubting yourself, but I actually felt terrible, if you're being honest. I just did not feel good. I felt like I was struggling the whole third lap. I probably did fall off a little bit, but just enough to hang on. And then, I don't know, the last 100, I was like, it's right there, I can't not do it. And once you get going, you get the kick going and it's fine, but I actually didn't feel that good. But you have to be able to, and then to run that time, I'm a bit blown away. I'm like, man, I didn't think I'd run that fast.
And listen, it just seemed like an all-out war coming down the home straight.
Yeah, I was kind of confident. I knew Sam had probably gone a bit earlier, so I'm hoping he used up a little bit too much. But once I got rolling and I was starting to close it slightly, I was like, okay, I have it. Hopefully he just didn't react, and luckily he didn't. So.
And perfect conditions and another great crowd here at Morton Stadium.
Yeah, I train here all the time. It's always windy, and it's perfect. Like the flags are perfectly down. So yeah, I had no excuses. And I watched the 800 men, and I was like, okay, it's gonna be an IB. Should go quick.
Is this the perfect preparation for a few weeks' time in Paris?
Yeah, I think racing's the best preparation. I think I'm going to go train now for the next 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks, but I just think racing keeps me fresh, or keeps me sharp and fresh. But I'll definitely go back and train a bit now, because mentally it takes its toll racing sometimes. So.
Stuff, Cathal, thanks for joining us tonight. Well, it's been a fantastic evening here at Morton Stadium. The rain stayed away, the sun made an appearance as well. We've seen stadium record after stadium record, 5 in total. Standout performances from Cathal Doyle here, from the likes of Sarah Lavin, and Nick Griggs smashed his personal best as well. We hope you've enjoyed it. We'll see you again very soon.